Listen, listen, listen. I am running late, but it is Monday Night Toy Ramblings where I will give you about 3+ hours of my time. So hopefully you can enjoy your Monday and hopefully it makes everything a little bit easier going into the week. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I can't believe that uh, it's already been a week since I was sitting here doing this show. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. Um, but maybe I just sit in the seat too much. From Thursdays to Saturdays and Mondays. Uh, I don't know. Seems like I'm hearing an awful lot. But anyway, glad to be here. Had a great weekend. Hope you guys all had good weekends. So let's get into this because originally I didn't think we were going to have very much to talk about. And then there was a Marvel stream, which I completely forgot about. And I'm going to say right away, I thought the Marvel stream was actually pretty good. I know a lot of people didn't like it. If you're a Marvel fan, I'm not sure how you can be too upset over it. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, there's a wonderful, wonderful custom in weight for Roadblock right there for you guys. But we will get into that in a little bit. So, first off, let me say thank you to Down South who joined me on Thursday. If you haven't watched that episode yet, really, really, really good episode. I think it cleared up a lot. We finally got to do a new touch on heartstrings, where people get, bit by a dog. We haven't done that one yet, so I'm glad I'm getting to hit all the feels when it comes to stuff like that. As I might as well go back to school to become a psychiatrist or psychologist or some sort of therapist or whatever. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you to Oz. I wasn't planning on going on Oz's this weekend. I went on Saturday. And, well, we were supposed to film all weekend. And Sergeant Reds had to cancel, which, hey, it happens. But then the next day, my son wasn't able to bring home his equipment. So I had to cancel with the other two places that I was supposed to film with. And I'll just say I was actually glad that he canceled because it meant I only had to cancel with 2 people rather than 3 people. So that is not on the docket. Right now it looks like we're going to get Sergeant Reds done. Then we're going to hit Funky Town. And then the following week we'll get to My Pop. So I am excited about it. I really want to get these done. I think I might push back the date. I was trying to get them out by June. I think it might go July, depending on where we're at with this new series that we're working on. If you know what series I'm talking about, it's we're going to do a walkthrough in toy stores in my area and see where it leads to. See if it can lead to bigger and better things in the next years to come. But also, if you don't know what I'm talking about, where the hell have you been? Are you not watching this show? So anyway, that's that. I was supposed to be real busy this weekend. I was still busy this weekend. We were still doing all kinds of stuff, got stuff done around the house. So just didn't get the stuff done that I wanted to get done. So anyway, whew. All right. So the chat is going crazy right now. What do we got? Like 48 people watching. It tells me 52 because it tells me 2 people on the X are watching. So quickly, let's say hi to everyone. If you haven't yet, hit that like button. I haven't asked you, but we'll get to me ripping you guys off soon. So anyway, let's say hi to Crimson Cobra Commander who's here. Jay Astro is here. The first moderator, Matthew Matson. Tony Figs is here. Aaron the Toy Enhancer is here. Woody 222. We have any more people. There's all the same people here. We have Joe is in the house. Eric Thurman all the way from, I believe, California. David R. is here. Crusty Old Crow, who's doing a wonderful, wonderful job. That guy, not what I was really expecting when I saw him, but him, Aaron, Down South, they're doing a lot of, they're starting to do a show together, and I think it's going to be a really good show. We have Darth Burke is here. I somehow missed Oz. Oz was here somewhere. There he is, Astrodamus. Look at all these wonderful channel members where I am just reaping in the money with all you channel members. I want to say thank you. That's the least that I could do for how I double dip with you guys. Viper Scout is here. Wraith Mace is in the house. Cobweb Collectors. Damon Knight is here. We have the second moderator. Action Figs is in the house. Liquid Identity is here. There's a whole bunch of other people. Turkish Murphy, who does some wonderful, wonderful, not 3D printed stuff, hand sculpted stuff with foam, plastic, same thing, same type of stuff that Random does. We have a Loki Wartooth Thanos Copter. You need to be following him on Instagram if you're not. Soul Brother #1, and we found out there's not a Soul Brother 2, 3, or 4. Rhino BMW is in the house. Derek Holloman, Gregory Blisterman. And there is Carol, who unfortunately, Carol, I'm very disappointed in you that your brother got in before you. That is very disappointing. I expect you to be always here before Oz is. So, all right. Daredevil Dave is here. This is how I waste time, guys. This is how I keep you guys completely on the edge. Nolan is in the house. We have Alice and Troy, which we will be talking about, May the Power of the Force, coming up really soon. A matter of fact, here, let me do this really quick here. It's kind of tiny, but this is the hashtag that we will be using going into May the Power of the Force. Todd C is in the house. There's so many of you guys. We have Damon Knight. I'm not sure if I mentioned Damon already. Daredevil Dave's Jeeps and Joes. That channel sounds like it is a lot of fun across the board. Machine Man is here. We have Travis B74. I think we're close to the end here. Oh, Pop Blender, another wonderful channel member. Hopefully you can actually watch today. Normally, I believe you're normally working on the Mondays. Johnny Reno, the Briscoe is here. Kenzo's Creations, and FC Vipers. You know what? I love the fact that FC Viper, you can get the joke. I made the joke towards you on the Full Force, and I'm so glad that you're able to run with it and not get upset with it. And I'm glad you're able to accept my apology that I didn't realize that it was FC Viper and not VC Viper. So anyway, that's enough right now. All right, so I'm going to bring something up really quick. Anyway, didn't get really much in this week, but you guys have seen the reviews going up. Thank you to Gregory for dropping off all the gridiron stuff, the hibernation pod. You've seen that stuff. Again, I think it's really good. I still have more stuff to do. Obviously, I didn't do anything today because I was taking a nap. Like, you know, any good red-blooded American that does a show at 9 p.m. after he works all day. I know, shocker, guys. I actually work a full-time job. Something many of you, I don't think that I do. We have Mr. Wonderful Travis, him and Ed, the other moderator. They do a show on Tuesdays, and when he finally gets me a commercial, then we will talk about it. And I gotta say hi to Sonny's. Are you still buying 3D printed stuff? Well, if the toy industry leaves you with no choice. Sonny, I'm just gonna say you screenshotted something from another YouTuber about being a game changer, and it has game changed the way some of us talk, because that was one of the most ridiculous things that I have ever read. So thank you for posting that, because whether you like it or not, there's nothing game changer about that vehicle. If you like it, awesome. But let's be honest. It's just a 6-inch vehicle. Just like the Vamp. It's just a 6-inch vehicle. There's nothing game-changing about too much of this. So, all right. You think I could find my own channel, Matthew? I forget. I found it. So as I waste your guys' time here, I've talked to Matthew about a few things here. This week on Punks on Film, we're just going to be talking some TV shows, movies. We don't really have anything set up, but I really got to get it off this channel. So here's what I need you guys to do right now. There is 63 of you watching right now. I want you guys all to go over. I'm going to be pushing this tonight. Go over to Punks on Film. Please subscribe over there. All the Punks on Film now are going to be done from over there. That way it gets it off this channel. I don't have to worry about people coming in here trying to ask us about toys when we're trying to do something about TV. Just anything in film in general. And I thought it would work by simulcasting it, but it doesn't really work. So we are going to be just fully going over there. But yeah, that's what I need you guys all to do. And then join in, all right? I'm going to push it on this channel. Everything's going to link over to it. We want to get that one monetized so I can steal a little bit more of your money because, that's what it seems that I do according to some people. And I think most of you guys are probably here yesterday or last week for that. So go over there next month. Going into May the Power of the Force, I believe the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be talking Star Wars. Star Wars. What the hell is it called? So this is what happens. Matthew, what's it called? The fan made. God, I can't think of what it's called, and it's going to drive me absolutely nuts. See, this is what happens when you're doing things all by yourself. Star Wars Troops. So if you haven't seen Star Wars Troops, you can go watch it. It was done back in the 90s, and it is basically, it's supposed to be cops, and it explains what happens to Owen and Beru, and it is awesome. It's better than anything Disney's. Well, any of the movies Disney's done, but we're going to talk about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun just to break that thing down. And you can see how Star Wars basically all happened because of some miscommunication with Luke and Obi-Wan and some stormtroopers. Quickly, I just want to say, Sonny said, the Vamp is a homage to the 80s toys. The other is not. I'm with you 100%. I apologize if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but basically someone said the Vanguard should be called the Game Changer, and I just disagree. Like, if you like it more, that's fine. But, the Vanguard is just a 6-inch vehicle that is based off of an armorized SUV. I mean, that is what it is. That people can say that's not what it is, but that's exactly what it is. Literally, it is an armored SUV for people. There's nothing game changer about it. There's nothing game changer about any of these things. So, but that's how that goes. All right. Anyway, but either way, you've given us a lot of stuff. Give me a lot of stuff. All right. Ray says that is someone pushing a narrative because he had a toy made of him. I guess somebody figured out who we're talking about. So anyway, man, the chat, you guys are going crazy right now. Okay, so we're going to be pushing this Power of the Force, May the Power of the Force. I'm going to be sending out exactly when I want anyone that is involved to make their review video. So if you're still on the fence, you still want to do it, send me a message. I think we're going to do a pit this weekend, channel members only. This is why, just make loads of money from you guys. Then I'm going to start pushing out the dates of what, when your review is going to go out. All right, I've already mentioned mine was going to go up on May 1st. Allison's will go up on the 31st. So we're going to book it end to end. That's us. So tune in this weekend if you want to get more. If you want to find out about it, just let me know, and then I will give you a date. You tell me what figure you're going to do. It has to be a Power of the Force 2. Those are the 95, 95, 99. Even Tony's Figs is in on it with Tarkin. So that's what we're going to do. As long as everything goes smoothly, I'm going to do a Punk's Pit so we can talk about that, and then we'll shoot the shit a little bit longer than that. So quickly, let's talk about everyone that we have that is in for sure. So I'm in, Oz is in, Allison, Masterversal, Toy Hunter, Shark Eyes, Down South 77. I believe Matthew Matson. I'm still waiting a full commitment. Brick is in. Toy Connections. Well, he's been a baby and he's not going to do it. KJ said that he's going to do one. Shiny Plastic People. Dreadnought Ryan, I still got to get a hold of. He said that he would do one. Toy Enhancer. Cobweb, who's already sent me something. Payne said he's in. Kenzo. Toy Habits, Travis, Jay Bartlett, Fuller's Figures, I already know has one. Digital Diarrhea, Wraith Mace, who's going to do a wonderful one. Pop Blender, Highly Articulated. We have Hyperdelic, Vine Jungle Figure, who kind of jumped in at just this week. Never met the guy. He was in Oz's chat, and he said he wanted to be part of it. And he already said he's going to do the Wampa. So, hey, that's actually pretty cool. We got someone doing the Wampa. And then Skelly said he is going to jump in there and do Guido. So we have a lot of people. I'm trying to go for at least the 31. We have a couple special guests that aren't going to be exactly – they're going to be thrown in as part of it, but not doing reviews of the figures, but customizing a little bit. So it's going to be a fun week. And then, like I said, there's going to be a live stream on the 1st where Allison and I are going to talk about everything. Basically, Allison's going to talk about everything she's doing. I'll break down what, what I'm doing, but this is really Allison's baby. I'm not going to try and take it over. This whole May the Power of the Force, this is Allison's, baby. I'm just organizing and setting up these reviews that just came to light because of wonderful streams like we have right here. So if you are interested, hit me up. Again, it's really to help try and promote people that maybe don't have huge channels, that are scared to get into it. They just want to jump in. They just want to do something. Reviewing a Power of the Force figure from the 90s, it's fun. That's what toys are supposed to be. That's what this community is supposed to be about. And I know there are groups of people that are fighting and resisting it, and I don't know why, because guess what? I have enough bullshit in my life that I don't need to make toys be bullshit too. So, whew, I talked a lot there. All right. So I want to talk about the troll from last week. And it was Toy Crustacean. And I really don't think that, I don't know. I said that he had actually kind of been in there before. Now, it's one of those really weird things. Kayla Brown says, "Yo, Punk, speaking of armorized SUVs, do you remember the Steel Crusher APV from the Rise of a Cobra toy line in 2009? That thing was sick." Yeah, actually, I kind of do. It's not like it's the first time. So during last week's episode, Toy Crustacean, who turned out to be a troll, and probably not the greatest troll in the world, to be 100% honest, just because I don't understand what he was trying to get at. There was a lot that he was trying to say that I just all right, I guess if that's what you want to do. He was really against memberships, and he wasn't a dick about it. He was actually pretty cordial, I thought, for the most part. That's why I didn't think he was a troll at first, but it actually spawned a very good conversation. It has spawned a lot of good talk on some of the related channels that frequent here, that I frequent on theirs, talking about this. And again, we get a lot of, inside jokes. But if someone is actually wondering, if you really do think that, having channel memberships is just leeching from the leeching from you guys, it really is about supporting the content creator. Not everyone wants to do it. And I've mentioned before, if you like me and you like, toy habits, and you like toy anxiety and geek dad life and, toy connections, who refuses to do a power of the force, unless you're rich, you can't really afford to have a channel membership to every single one. So you have to pick and choose. So it's not like anyone's upset if you're not. I'm not twisting anyone's arm. I'm not saying, hey, you know what? You guys really like the show. The only way I'm going to do it is behind the paywall. So understanding most of us here in this mid-range of what we're doing, we don't make a lot of money. I know some people would disagree with that. And I make probably more than a lot of people, to be 100% honest, just because of the format of what I'm doing. But I also put a lot into it. Behind the scenes, the product that I have to purchase to do. And, it was one of those weird things. Tony says, lies. He twisted my arm, guys. Joe says, Lawrence is so upset he's dying with tears with those wads of cash. That's exactly right. I when I play the Hella Dope commercial that I get absolutely zero from, I dry my eyes with the $100 bills that I have that are coming in. But listen, if you think at any point, like, you don't want to send a super chat, you don't want to send a super sticker, you don't want to be a membership, paying for a membership, there's no issue with that. I can't say I speak for every YouTube creator, but I have no problem with it. I don't think of anyone as, as someone being less than because of that. But it's really not double or taking advantage, but it has led to a lot of talk. So if you do want to be a channel member, it's 99 cents or $2.99 for the Super Toy Enabler, where we have a private Discord. So all the Super Toy Enablers, just so you know, there is a private Discord that I will post a link to every time we get new channel members. That if you want to join, you can join. And I ain't going to lie, it's not like I'm watching it. So if your channel membership ends, you're probably still going to remain in that Discord. But it's just a private one where we can chat about things. You can ask me different things. Again, Discords are kind of weird like that. But again, you guys all know how, how it goes. Believe me, none of you want that. All right. Not a single one of you wants to see that. That I can guarantee you. So anyway, I just want to say to whoever is trying to troll me, I want you guys to understand I'm not as angry as many of you may think that I am. I may go off. I may get animated, but you don't really see me standing up and screaming. Yes, it was pointed out when I'm on steroids, it can happen. That all there, the whole steroid fueled one, there was a mound of stuff that had built up over that weekend and week that had pushed me over the edge. But yeah, if someone was coming in here to try and get me upset, I believe it's Fatrid that I said a few times. He's right here. I think he's actually said a couple of times that, hey, you know what, you handle that really well. I've heard a few other people say the same thing. So I had a Dreadnought K6. Listen, when you're standing behind here, sitting behind here, whatever, whoever you are, man, like, if you're sitting behind here doing something like this, you got to know not to go off the deep end when somebody, when someone is coming at you, because all it does is they're getting what they want out of you. If it helps, if it helps your channel with how you react, then great. But just don't let someone get you on the hook. Don't let a troll ever get you on the hook. That's what you have mods for. We just happen to have no mods at that point. But again, he wasn't the typical troll. And I felt like if I didn't answer that, if I didn't read the comment, I don't even know if it would have come to light the same way that it did. So I just want to mention that. His name was Toy Crustacean. He's now long gone because I can't find him, and I don't believe others can find him either, too. Woo! Anyway, that is how you waste 26 minutes of everyone's life. So while you're at it, take a second, subscribe, become a member, go buy some merch, send super chats, do the super sticker, which I still think is really weird. I love when I get the super stickers. It's kind of odd, but I don't know. It's weird because on StreamYard, you don't even see what a super sticker is. I actually have to have another screen open so I can go, oh, that's a super sticker. But anyway, it's all fun. Is there anything else to discuss? Nope, I think I got to it. Anyway, so just look for us before we get off here. Sorry, my daughter's messaging me from Instagram. Remember when I said before, like that was the one thing that really pissed me off was all the messages. Now I have 2 Instagrams that I'll send dog stuff to my daughter, who's in the room over there. And now she's responding to me right now. Make sure to mint your punk NFTs. You meant to pimp your punk NFTs. Pop Blender says trolls can kick rocks, go ahead under bridges, do not let people pass and stuff. Yeah, again, the Titan says monetize the haters. Yeah, again, it's all again. Just a word of advice for anyone that has decided to do this. Eventually, you will get trolls. Make sure they're a troll before you go off on them. Tony's Figs, understand? You want to make sure someone's a troll before you start yelling at someone, and you lose a potential channel member. I'm out 99 cents. How will I ever make that up now, Tony? So anyway, woo. Give me a second. I was running a little late. I took my nap. Slept too long. Had to take care of a few other things. Give me 1 second here. All right. Yeah. Turkish Tony don't play. He just instantly yells, and then the next day he finds out that he was maybe he was in the wrong. But hey, you know what happened? That's how you learn. In all honesty, that's how you learn. I think that was a total learning. That was a learning moment for Tony. If you guys didn't see back when I had Tony and Adam on, he lost it on someone, and I understand why he lost it because, hey, you know what? Someone starts attacking a friend of yours, you get kind of pissed off about it. So, but everything's a learning moment. Just take it that way. Don't, you just have to let things go. Quickly, we have a $4.99 super chat from Mr. Wonderful. Punk, this is a payment for the request I sent via text. Yeah, I know you texted me something, but if you can't tell, I'm busy. And if you send me the commercial that I told you to make up, guess what? I can't really do anything. All right. Do you want it right now? Because yes. Or do you want me to tell me if you want it right now on screen or if you want it sent over private? Because if you want it sent over private, I'll send over private. This is Punk needs some money for WD-40 for that chair. You know what? I'm so used to the chair that I don't even notice it. I often wonder what you guys tend to know. Okay. Anyway, let's get into everything because, like you mentioned, we got a big show going on. I've totally missed the chat. You guys have been going on like crazy right now. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful. I just read it, so yeah, I will. I'll get that over to you at some point, if that's what you need. But I can only imagine what you're thinking, and it's gonna be pretty funny. All right. So I'm looking for my mouse, which don't tell me the mouse died. You've got to be kidding me. My mouse is dead. Well, that's not good because I can't really do anything without a mouse. I can't do anything right now. Oh boy. It's a lot of fun, guys. I can't stop you. I can't do anything. Son of a bitch. Well. All right. There we go. Now the mouse is working. I apologize. This technical difficulty 101. I guess, I don't know. We'll change the batteries later on. All right, let's get to a little bit of a Masters of the Universe. And listen, anyone that's first tuning in, this is how this show goes. Yeah. Briscoe, Punk is live forever. You almost got that. A 24/7 stream until StreamYard kicked me off going, okay, guys, enough's enough. Woody 222 with a $9.99 super chat. Hold on before we start. Let's get this out of the way. Where did we discuss what this looks like? But it does not look like a fart noise. It looks like something else. Yes, if you look at that, it looks a little bit different than a fart. But thank you very much for the super chat. Toyamic Display says, "What's up? I hope all are doing well. I just posted a video on YouTube, first in a long time." All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do this really quick, and then I'm gonna end it. All right, Crimson Cobra Commander says, "Everyone, I just started my channel last week. I got 30 subs for review vehicle Joes and other lines of any interest." Okay, so this is gonna be my. I'm gonna say this one time, and this is nothing against either one of you, so don't take it the wrong way. But do not go on other people's channel and talk about yours if someone asks you about something that you did. But remember, people are going to someone's channel to watch them, not to hear about what you're doing, unless, like I said, someone asks you. So I am very open about how if I enjoy your content, if you're a good member of this community, I will promote your stuff. So just so you guys know for the future. I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but I fully believe that. I have called out some pretty good friends of mine on that too. So, Tony's face, here for the battery. $5 super chat for the batteries. Thank you very much. Uh, well, I didn't want to yell. I couldn't do anything. So I would have yelled right into it. And Crimson, listen, hey, no reason. You don't need to apologize. I just like to get that out there. I'm very adamant about it. I have watched, and again, listen, it's fucking god damn the fucking batteries. I gotta make sure I have batteries. I don't even know how this thing fucking opens. Hell, I don't even know if I have these batteries. This is awesome, guys. Oh, son of a bitch. This show got out of hand really quickly, now didn't it? All right. Hey, someone's got to go grab some batteries really quick. Let me see if I can play the. If I can get them to work for 1 second. All right. Hold on, guys. This is riveting. Enjoy. I'm back with batteries. I must have turned it off when I went downstairs and grabbed the batteries. I took the mouse. This is a total shit show, but hey, this is not what we tuned in for. I will go quickly. There was 2 super chats I see. If I can find the first one. Aaron, I'm not ignoring your super chat, but I think you saw that. Aaron with a $9.99 super chat and mouse funds. Look, we have Skywalker laughing at me. And we have Bounty Killer Customs in the chat. Damn it, it should have stopped. It didn't fucking work. I did order one. I need a better one, a more expensive one. But I did try and order one, just so you guys know. I did order one. It doesn't work with the stuff that I have. We all wish we could do something besides struggle. Listen, I apologize for the total shit show that this is. But if you've been watching me long enough, you know exactly what this is. Oz says $5 batteries and WD-40 fun. Let's go. It only makes when I lean back, right? It doesn't make noise that much, I don't think. Or have I really learned to ignore it all that much? All right. And then we have Yodan here. Good evening, everyone. He's missing all the fun. All right, so let's get back to the slides, which we never even started. All right, Masters of the Universe. I feel like... Hey, okay, they're here now. Okay. So we got the we already talked about this, but we have new pictures of this Cringer and Adam 2-pack, and I gotta say, I think this looks absolutely awesome. This is something that I this could get me to go out and buy it just because Cringer looks, super cute. You can fit him in so many different things when you're just doing pictures. And the thing that I am starting to find out as I do, more pictures and stuff, that you don't always, you can mix and match your lines. And sometimes it's a lot of fun when you're doing stuff like that. So Payne's Toy Sample says, all right, you sons of bitches, I have arrived. Hood on your, what? Arrived hood onto your butts. All right. Payne has missed everything, so Payne has missed absolutely everything that's happened. So I would ask you should go back and watch and see the complete debacle, and that's saying a lot for this show. So anyway, this is the cartoon collection. I love the two animated faces. I just think I think they're doing a wonderful job. This almost makes me want to sell all of my Origins and go in on the Filmation just because it's something different, but that would be a lot of work. No, Ken, listen, I never said that I'm done, but I am not a full-time collector on Origins anymore. I will pick and choose as I need or that I like. But there's a lot of stuff coming out that's going to take everything. So here's a little bit bigger picture of them, cutting off the artwork. But yeah, that is, again, how did no one figure out that was He-Man? I mean, for the love of God, look at Adam. He looks exactly like He-Man. No one is able to put two and two together. At least Batman wears a mask. At least Clark Kent puts on some glasses. I mean, he doesn't even change the Karen haircut. He looks the exact same. So I'm a little lost on how it's like, how no one was able to figure this out. Especially his parents. Like, Aaron says, I need that Cringer. Again, I just think that they can fit in anything. Payne's Toy Samples, Oz, Thanos, Fat Scott. I used to say hi, everyone. Sorry. He's not using... what is it called? The commas. So is the pink shirt. It's the pink shirt. Oh, that's what gave it away. He-Man would never wear a pink shirt. Yes, because a man wearing a pink shirt would also never run around with his bare chest hanging out. With an iron cross in the middle. No, that could never happen. Jay Astro here. Great battery crisis of 2024. Thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Jay Astro. Yeah, this is I gotta say, man, this type of stuff is just awesome. You guys are awesome. Lawrence Howard. His mom didn't know I gotta say hi to anyone with the name Lawrence, and they spell it right. So anyone that's watching this and sees this up here, if you do ever refer to me, I probably shouldn't say shit, but this is how you spell your name. That's why I go by Larry. It's a lot easier. People can't figure out. Anyway, here's the back of the box. And in here, we get a little shot of Triclops, Skeletor, and Evil Lyn in the background. So these are all courtesy of Toy Habits. They're the place that I stole these shots from. So I'm all about stealing stuff, but you got to give some people credit at times. Hi, buddy. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Here. You know, I should have had you. I should have had you jump up, huh? Up here, say hi. You should have jumped in the chair. Come here. Come up there. Well, this little guy, the big guy, he got his shots yesterday, and he had an ear infection. And not that you know that he has an ear infection, because he doesn't seem to really get bothered by him. But yeah, this little guy got his rabies shots, his ear infection. He gets more Bordatello shots next in a couple weeks because they can't do that at the same time with the rabies and his heartworm and all that good stuff. And quickly here, Aaron the Toy Hamster with a $9.99 super chat for whichever kid loaned you the mouse. No, I went and found the batteries. But what I did was I grabbed my flash drive for my old mouse, which is also wireless, if I needed it. Because my fear was that the thing just took a shit and died. You know, he was fine with the shots, but they had a hard time drawing the blood to do the heartworm stuff. So he was not happy about that. He had a hard time getting the vein, which the guy's never had a hard time, but he had to poke him a few times, and he wasn't happy with that. But I gotta say, he is so well maintained, like so well tempered that, you know, it's like, again, you saw, you know, if you watched Thursday, what happened with down south. So nothing like that. Although the guy, the vet, had a huge scratch across his hand where you could tell some dog wasn't happy with whatever the hell he did. Anyway, so yeah, there's your Adam and Cringer. If you are interested, I think that's the only thing that I have up here. So, and we want to say hi to JLS. You know, I started watching your G.I. Joe, movie, Part 2 movie that never got done, and I never was able to finish it because Tony called me, and then we got stuck. And my buddy's custom says, "Hey, I joined. It's Motu. Yeah, well, it's about to be gone." There wasn't that much Motu. All right, on to McFarlane, and well, we don't have very much, but we have a Batman. So this is a Kickstarter that he's doing. I want to say these are like $500 each. And if I had $500, you know, it's funny. I have all this YouTube money. I had $500 it just fell out of my sleeping wear. But if anyone remembers the Batman Spawn crossover, absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And this statue is top notch. I would hope so for $500. I think it's limited also, but I'm not sure how many people are going to spend I believe it was $500. I was blown away. Yeah, Kenzo. Again, maybe I read it wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Because I think it's limited to like 1,000 people for the Kickstarter. It was crazy. If someone else wants to look up and figure it out, they can. Toyamic Display says, "Punk, do you have all the Gridiron Studios vamp sets? My roll bar arrives tomorrow. I watched your vid for that. Are you getting the rest?" So I personally do not have any. Gregory has ordered all of them so far. The only one that he has gotten so far is the roll bar, which you've seen. That's his vamp. So what you're seeing is I'm putting together his vamp for reviews. Once he gets the other three, he'll drop them off. I'm going to do them all in parts, the same way that I did the roll bar. But I think he'll probably get the two side units probably the exact same time because they went out like the same day. And then he just ordered the roof. So uh, as of right now, or well, no, that was the fifth one because you got the two sides, and then you got the gunner, um, and then you have the roof. So he's ordered them all. So yeah, I will be reviewing all of them. So eventually, by the time that thing's done, it's going to be so souped up, and he's happy that I'm doing everything for him, so he doesn't have to do. He didn't really care about that, but I think putting together this loadout here that I did, taking the figure apart, he said he was happy that someone else did it. So um, anyway, so back to this thing. I think this thing looks awesome. But I loved the look of this comic. These things, I mean, Spawn and Batman went together so well. And the one thing that I absolutely loved about McFarlane was Spawn kept that tied up face where he threw the batarang. It's, so that was really awesome. And I'm not sure, I would assume by now it has. He doesn't have it anymore. He may still have some sort of scar, but for the longest time, he still, when you saw him unmasked, he had it. But I wanted to show this off just because, I mean, this is how I picture Spawn. But it says, how much is the total vamp upgrades? Well, with the 30 each. So, and there's 5 of them right now. And it sounds like there may be more coming. So, for me, I don't need the vamp upgraded at all. I think it's perfectly fine the way that it is. And I think once it's fully loaded, it may just be too much in my opinion. But hey, that's that's on on what you guys want to do. I have no issues with how the vamp is, but I mentioned this with the Airborne, and I mentioned it with Vamp, the Rollbar. This is forcing Gridiron to step up their game even more because Hasbro's doing such a good job, other than with the flimsy weapons. And I want to say I play with toys. Is it .com or is I play with Toy Scum? I know Scum is with a U, but thoughts on Retro Duke and Scarlet. Tony and I were talking about my only issue with Scarlet, to be 100% honest, is he even mentioned how he's having a hard time standing her up, and that's because how her boots go. Like, her toes dip up, and she has a smaller footprint. So if you've ever messed around with the Crimson Guard or Cobra Commander, not the Retro Cobra Commander, they have a hard time standing at times. She has an even harder time because she's a smaller footprint. Other than that, I think she's almost a perfect figure. I know a lot of people have a problem with the face. Again, I don't know what they're all looking at. Look at the artwork. Look at the original figure. It's, dude, that's just kind of, that's how it looks, man. They're not all going to be these absolutely beautiful, but I don't think there's any issues at all. No, I don't need a stand. As a matter of fact, my son asked if he could have a couple stands. I'm like, there, take them all. As for Duke, as a person who does not like Duke, I think that they nailed it with that Duke. Some people had a problem with his face. I kind of think that the first Duke's head sculpt was better, but that's not saying that I think this one is bad. But the more I mess around with Duke, God, that sounded wrong. There's no way to say it. The more I play around with Duke and God damn it. Anyway, Duke is a really good figure, and that buck, they're going to be using that buck for quite some time. It's good. It's not that you can't stand Scarlet, but I think she's more difficult than some of the other ones. But yeah, I have no problem with it. I think they knocked it out of the park. I mean, if you watch Travis Moody's ranking them. I think he nailed it perfectly. I think Recondo is exactly what we wanted, but it should have come first. We know why it didn't. Target needs these figures, and it's a little dull. But Scarlet and Duke are exactly, and by the looks of the reviews or the views on my review that I still keep getting, people seem to be real happy with it too. But there are some people that are just unhappy with everything. All right. A little bit of NECA news. The Haulathon is going on right now. I do not cover turtles, so I'm not really going to talk about it. But from what I understand is that Hudson is being found in his detective outfit. So that means I got to start going to Targets again to try and find this. I don't think they've hit here because I haven't seen anyone post any from around here. Okay, I like the head on Tiger Force Duke, but the neck was too long. On Tiger Force Duke? Well, he's downstairs somewhere. Someone said the same thing. Someone said that the retro one. Yeah, I don't know. I think people are nitpicking stuff. I really do think that they start nitpicking everything. And again, you're not. I mean, I don't know what you want it. These figures change all the time, whether it be Iron Man or anything. So JLS is saying my Tiger Force Duke came with ET's neck. I'm now you guys are gonna make me go look at it and see. Yeah. Even if you aren't into Turtles, there is that Jack Kirby figure they just put out, and it's rad. So this is all that I saw. I didn't really go looking too deep. I'm not gonna lie. This week was kind of crazy. But now I gotta go look at that. Now I gotta go look at this Tiger Force Duke neck. Anyway. So that was it, and I wanted to talk about the Hudson there. I'm gonna take a drink. So I didn't even realize there was a Marvel fan stream today. Didn't even realize that there was a Marvel Legends fan stream. But there was. And I watched it, and I was very impressed with it. To the point I say I'm probably going to have to pick up a couple of these. Sorry, I can't stand watching tickers go across the screen. The whole... Okay. Yes. Zorn, yes. It doesn't look bad because she has the choker on, but when you try and put another head on it, it definitely does show, if I remember correctly. But yeah, she had... If I remember, again, I thought Tiger Force Duke was the exact same as the original Duke. That's why I guess I'm a little... I can't remember, but now I'm gonna have to go down and check it out and see what everyone's talking about. Anyway, on to the Marvel Legends. And I want to say about this stream in general, I thought they actually looked happy to be together. Like, they were having fun. I don't think anyone has nearly as much fun as the G.I. Joe team. I know a lot of people think that's fake and all, but I mean, Lenny and Emily really have a good time together. They are really... I mean, they're friends in real life. I think Tony fits in absolutely perfect. When Corey was there, Corey was, great on there. We've watched the Marvel, not the Marvel, the Star Wars team. I mean, those people look like they're being held hostage. All right. It looks a little bit better without Patrick there, but I mean, that team always looked like they were being held hostage. Like you were waiting for them to blink like twice if they were in distress. Baldy Lock shows up here. That Marvel stream was incredibly boring. A great product, but those guys were so boring. I wanted to jump down the stairs. See, I disagree, but maybe that's because we've seen them before. They were actually interacting more than I think they normally do, and they actually seemed like they were genuinely having a good time. Again, it's not the same that you get from the G.I. Joe team. Transformers, I don't ever watch, or I'll tune it in, but it's just like I like seeing toys. So even a lot of times with stuff that I don't like, I still want to watch. But I actually thought they did a really good stream, and they actually seemed like they enjoyed themselves. But obviously, not everyone feels the exact same. Cobra Commander says Marvel is trying, at least now for the time. It was like they gave a crap. Yeah, it's odd because when you look at the product that they've created. Let me move this really quick. When you look at the product that they've created, whether it be them or Star Wars, they really do have to adhere to a different standard, even though, it's Marvel. Even though it's Hasbro, Marvel and Disney and Star Wars, they dictate so much. And so those brands at times, they are stuck putting something out that I think they know as well as we do that it's not going to be received well. But they're kind of stuck because this is what Disney, says. But at the same time, a lot of the product that they put out, especially Star Wars, if they didn't put out some of these boring figures, the same people bitching that no one wants these figures would be bitching that they don't have these figures so they can make for their diorama. So it's a catch-22 for them. If they didn't make Andor figures, people would bitch that they're not making Andor figures. They like the series and they need that represented, but then they make Andor figures and then people bitch that's a boring show. Why would anyone make, Andor figures? With the Marvel, again, I haven't been collecting Marvel. So I know what people are talking about that, hey, you know what? They've been running off the same buck for the longest time. And, they're reproducing a lot of figures. And, again, they reproduce a lot of figures like Wolverine, Spider-Man. It's like Batman. It always needs to be on shelves. Darth Vader should always be on shelves. Snake Eyes should always be on shelves. But I don't think G.I. Joe is nearly as – I don't think they have to have one figure nearly like anyone else, where Star Wars has to have a Luke, Han, Leia, Vader. They should always be available. Maybe not right away. Motu should always have Skeletor and He-Man. They should always be there. Transformers, Optimus Prime, and Megatron. Obviously, if you want to do Galvatron every now and then or Hot Rod, but for the most part, I think we saw by killing off Optimus Prime, you always have to have Optimus and Megatron slowly coming around. And so I think that's where a lot of the issue was with the Marvel. But as of lately, they, I think, are knocking it out of the park. So here we have a completely new Wolverine sculpt. He said the claws are probably the only thing that were the same, which means they would have just kind of been creating them to look the same. But he said this is on the super articulated body, which is awesome. He said he's going to fit the same size, so he's smaller, as he should be. He is a smaller figure. Yes, he's the part of the Astonishing X-Men. So they gave him some different hands, which this is what they need to do. All right. So how to figuratively speaking. Let me hold up for a little bit longer. I kind of highlighted it and that was it. So you have these fist hands and an unmasked head. I don't really have a problem with this face sculpt. I've seen some people that are pretty upset with it. I think it looks good. I love the color scheme. Go figure. Why would I like the color scheme of that? Uh, again, Wolverine that wears Wolverine colors. But this is supposed to be on the super articulated body, which is good because I have Wolverine somewhere over here. Though I have a couple, I guess, but hopefully they'll be able to get a little bit better with the elbows, because unfortunately his muscles are so big he can only bend so much even with double joints. So say hi to this is Ken. I can't afford a Power of the Force figure to do a review. Toy Connections. Check out his channel. You will see nothing Power of the Force because, from what I understand, picking one up at a toy show where he walks by numerous ones over and over and over was too difficult for him. Anyway, you are absolutely correct. I play with toys. You are absolutely correct. Someone will always find something to complain about, or someone will always find some to complain about anything. You are absolutely correct. Again, a lot of people say that I do that too when I do reviews, but I'm just pointing stuff out. Sometimes you're pointing stuff out, and it's not really so much a complaint as much as an observation. But you're absolutely correct. People will find something to complain about. It doesn't matter what it is. The fact that people have found something to complain about with Duke and that Scarlet just says it all. So they give him like a pointy finger hand. It's kind of hard to see here. But again, this is what you need to do because they don't have a lot of different things that you can do. How many accessories can Wolverine come with? It's not that many. So give him more hands. He's going to point. He's going to do stuff like that. He's going to have open hands. To me, that is exactly what you need to do. And once you have the molds, you give them. So people can't really always complain and be like, well, you don't give us anything else. Well, kind of like with Valaverse, you're getting all these hands. And yes, I will complain. I don't need that many hands. But it is nice that at least something else is being thrown in there. And it's a mold that will already be done. There's going to be, another 300 Wolverines, by the end of 2026. So, here we go. But I do love this figure. I'm probably going to order this figure. It goes up on sale tomorrow. And I thought this is a great shot here. He's clearly looking down on someone that he's about ready to take out. Yeah, that is one random I have a feeling we will not get. Is the cigar hand, but that is something that would be great for him. That would be something perfect. So then we got this Spider-Man, which is supposed to be Doc Ock Spider-Man, I guess. So it's Superior Spider-Man. They were extremely happy with this. A hooded cigar hand. All right. So here's the back of it. And so this does look really, really good. I'm not even a Spider-Man fan, but everything on this, it is on the highly articulated or super, I don't know what it is. He has toe articulation. I'm not a big fan of toe articulation. I think McFarlane stuff, he doesn't need it. But I think on a figure like this, Spider-Man toe articulation is a must because he's literally just climbing up the walls. And they're showing some amazing shots. Something that some people don't. Did you just go outside? Really? I thought someone just let you out. Do you need to go outside? Well, there's two people. Two people. Go see one of them. See, sometimes I like to call for the kids, but other times I like to see how long he barks for before one of them just comes out of their rooms and says, hey, let me let him out. So do you need to go outside? Go see outside. Go ask Sophia. Go bar down to the room. Go. Go. You're upsetting me. You're ruining the show. Yeah, you're loud. Totally loud. Oh, wait, look. One of them heard it. Alright. There you go.
Which experiment is it?
I don't know.
The superior experiment.
That's it.
Come on, Roman.
So you guys got to hear, listen to... No, Matthew. I was going to wait to see one of the kids comes out. I was just going to wait till when the kids come out. Listen, this show has already been a complete train wreck. I figure why not see how much of a train wreck we can make it. God, you guys all want, man, you guys really want Moss Man, huh? Look at this. We'll play the commercial after this. How about that? So one of them, I forget which one, was very, really happy with this. And they said, if you can't get this shot, get him to stand for like 5 minutes. Don't even bother. This is, he wanted to make sure that he could get this shot, and he did. You can look at his hand. So I don't know if they really showed everything that he's coming out with, but these, the tentacles, or whatever you want to call them, the arms, the legs for Doc Ock here, they are easily, I guess, supposed to be able to hold them up. So, and they specifically talked about the way they look. Will someone let him out?
There's a cat right outside, and it could easily be the neighbors.
Get the cat out of the yard.
I can't.
Then let him get the cat out of the yard.
It could be the neighbors.
Well, then they'll learn.
What?
Just get the damn cat out of the yard and then let him out so he stops whining. Yeah, okay, so I heard about that, and you're right, I did not do it. So there's two different heads, and I can't zoom in. That's the problem. I can't zoom in. So there's two different eyes, and one is looking at the... Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Because this is something I actually found out after I had gotten home. So... Now I lost you guys because this is my screen. Hold on. I do kind of want to show this too, so thank you for kind of reminding me on this here. All right. Damn, I hate this stuff. Give me 1 second here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the commercial, and then maybe I can find this in the meantime. So here you guys go. I have 2 minutes now to find this, and you guys go hold up.
Oh, hey guys. So Lawrence, he had to step away for a little bit. He's got a case of the grumble dust. So he asked me to kind of watch over a stream. He put me in charge of y'all. He said to me, "Oh, Moss Man, I have a case of the grumble dust, and I need you to watch myself for a little bit so nobody leaves and finds out that there's more interesting things to watch on YouTube. And also, I hate Ohio." So I was like, oh, dang, so now I have to come up with a topic for my very own show. And I was like, oh, what about talking about your favorite toy stores? So my favorite toy store is HelloDopeToys.com. So they used to have this really bad website. It used to look real scammy. Like if I gave them money, they were going to go spend it on like blow and hookers. But now their website is really nice. And like I can just go in and do like 1-2 click. And then my order's placed. And they ship super fast, guys. They ship everything in 1 business day. So, like, I get all my toys first. So when I'm out there on the playground and all my friends are like, oh, dang, Moss Man, where'd you get that action figure? I still have to wait 17 months for mine. And I'm just like, well, I went to HelloDopeToys.com and I just pushed the buttons and then they shipped it out to me. And the packaging is so nice, guys. Like, I opened up the box. I thought, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kind of packaging. It's so nice. But then my trash can gets full because of all the packing stuff. And I was just like, oh dang, I just changed the trash. But now I gotta change the trash again. Oh, you're right, Matthew Matson. You can use the code APWT at hellodopetoys.com and save 10% on your order. So how that works is, so you're going to save 10%, and then a Punk with Toys, he has to pay that 10% that y'all saved. So if you don't like Lawrence, you can just go to hellodopetoys.com and just buy a bunch of stuff and rack up his bill. So then, like, at the end of the month, they're like, Hello Dope Toys is like, oh, Lawrence, you owe us $1 million because of all the 10% codes that everybody used. And yeah, that's how that works. Okay, guys, so it looks like it's time for me to go now. So make sure you go to helldopetoys.com and like and subscribe, and then in the comments put what your favorite toy store is. But if it's not helldopetoys.com, I'm probably just going to delete it, okay? So, alright, guys, bye!
Alright, so you guys got Mossman a little early. Alright, so let me show you here. Thank you for reminding me. Crusty old crow. Again, I was going to point it out. You can kind of see it in here, but I have it brought up a little bit more here. So in the eyes, you can see the reflection of New York. And this was something they pointed out, or I don't know if they pointed it out. Maybe I missed it. I heard it on either TNI News. Yeah, I think it was either TNI News or Robo Don't Know. He talked about it. But there is another head. So if you don't want to see, if you don't want it looking like that, you don't have to, you don't have to have that head on there. And to be honest, looking at it here, if someone didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't notice. But once someone shows you, it's really awesome. So it says reflection. That's a bit of a stretch. Well, I mean, it's an action figure, so you can only do so much. Nothing's going to be perfect. I think it looks good. I mean, I can clearly see that you're looking at the reflection of, skyscrapers. So I think it looks awesome. Like, this is the type of stuff you want. Okay, so this is, so I'll say this. This is someone bitching to bitch. That's like saying, why did they bother putting that little smiley face eye on Ripper? They did it. It's pretty cool. You're going to put glasses on it, you're not going to see it. But, yeah, like, they're giving you two different ones. So, yeah, if you don't like it, then you don't have to, you don't have to use it. But, again, that is, what we were kind of just talking about, Zoran. Anyway. So there you go. That is your Superior Spider-Man. No, I said you're bitching. I didn't call you a bitch. Big difference. But you are bitching just to bitch. So, again, they give you two. If it was like one thing and you're like, well, now my eyes are kind of ruined, but hey. Digital diarrhea comes in here. Damn it, Lawrence, don't say anything positive. So, again, if you don't like it, you don't like it. No big deal. I think that figure looks awesome, but it's not one that I'm into. So here is Scar. So we have Hulk's son. This guy is going to stand, they said, about 8 inches tall. So if you needed a Scar, I can't say Scar now without thinking about the weapon Scar and the tiny little magazines that come with some of them. But he comes with a big giant sword, and they teased this a while back. A lot of people, I guess, didn't get it. I didn't get it. Where they showed like a weapon. So I know they showed something. Oh dang, Mossman. Bounty Killer, I hope you're saying that he looks like Mossman and you're not just about 5 minutes behind everyone. I love when there's always someone in the comments that's like 5 minutes behind that doesn't realize it. And you'll like read their comment and you can tell that they're a little bit behind. But I think they did a really good job just in general looking at this. Uh, just the way they have this in the back here, and he's kind of putting it away. Now, anytime you get a big figure like that, you do wonder how much of the articulation is there. Whether it goes to, like that Thane from AWalk, which I should have mentioned earlier. If you want to get on the AWalk Kickstarter, I believe you have less than 2 days, maybe 1 day left. So, yeah, go check that out really quick. Not right now, after the stream. Cressio Crow says, Punk, don't you think it's funny how they showed his scale by standing him next to little Wolverine? Was that a mistake or a mistake with intent? I think that maybe that was just a mistake. Yeah, I think, we mentioned it before when they showed that Wolverine and Sabretooth, that's how they should have been showing them. And it's not something that they did. Feces Viper. Hey, Lawrence, mouse is not working. Oh, wait, I'm behind. Allison's too late. I already left to go check out AWalk. But anyway, no, I didn't even think about that till you just said something. But maybe they did, but because they specifically mentioned that, hey, you know what, this Wolverine fits in with the rest of them. They fit in with the rest of them. So I think it's perfectly fine. I'm glad that they make Wolverine still really small. That is part of his appeal to so many people. The movies, they make him this big hulking man, which is awesome. I mean, I think Hugh Jackman's a great Wolverine, but just because Hugh Jackman, he encompasses that version. So if you need a baby Hulk, here you go. If you're always like, you know what, I really need the Hulk family, well, here you go. You get first one. Yes, you're right. Yeah, short people. Listen, when he's like your exact same height, to me, this is like the dud of it, only because I have no real need for him. I don't have any need for really too many of these, to be honest. So here we have the Carol Danvers. Someone refresh who she is. Songbird, something like that. Jaybird, Jaywalker, something like that. And this figure looks awesome. Again, I know there's a bunch of creepy toy collectors that love their females that are this scantily clad, and when they don't get under boob, they get super pissed off about it. Yeah. Warbird, Songbird, they both have bird in them. But yeah, I think this figure looks awesome. They don't give you very much, I don't think. But she is on I believe, so her articulation is going to be the same type of articulation that comes with Black Widow. And it's also a Target exclusive. And before everyone starts getting upset about it, just remember that Black Widow was pretty easy to get. And if you didn't get the Black Widow, shame on you, because that was one of the best figures of the year. So you can probably still find it really quick. Or you can probably still find it. John Battle says, the sad part about this Scar fig is that it's single joint elbow. When they make a Build-A-Figure, brawl pinless, a double joint in arms. Yeah, did it have single jointed? Yeah, they do. That's the type of stuff that I don't understand, is when they have it and they've already used it, why they don't consider doing that. But But I think this warbird looks awesome. If she's not for you, you just walk by her on the aisle. But the face sculpt is awesome. Maybe people will complain about this, so maybe they won't. But yeah, that I know nothing about this figure. I just know that I look at how good it looks, and I'm like, this is actually pretty good. So, Black Widow wasn't easy for most of the country to get. Can't you just go on? I mean, if I remember correctly, I thought you could just go on Target and get her. And I saw her like all the time, even when she was clearanced. And I thought about getting another one, but Zoran says he's looking for a new girlfriend. So it says, wait, which Black Widow was the best figure? I didn't say it was the best figure. The Target exclusive was one of the best figures. It was awesome. 3 different heads. All the head sculpts were awesome. Her guns sucked, but I find better guns for her. Her articulation was really, really good. Again, I don't think it was that much better than G.I. Joe, but I think G.I. Joe actually did a better job. So if you look at the Target exclusive Black Widow, then you'll see which one I'm talking about. But it's awesome. I mean, I didn't really hear anyone have too many complaints about it. So, but there you go. This is one of the reveals that they showed off. And then you get your Iron Fist. Now, I don't really care about Iron Fist. I know they gave him cute little feetsies. Dwight said something like that. Oh, you're in Canada. Okay. Fuck no Target here in Canada. I want 3-headed Black Widow. I would assume that it went to. I would have assumed that it would have went to Target then. Not Target, Toys R Us, right? Isn't that where most of the exclusives go to Toys R Us? But yeah, or try the CMD store. They might even still have them. If they had them. They usually get that stuff because they're out of Canada. But that one, yeah, if you wanted a Black Widow, and yeah, I do apologize. That one was awesome. Anyway, so here's your Iron Fist. This is part of a 2-pack. I can't believe Matthew hasn't once yet said that he already has the perfect Iron Fist. He doesn't need to have this one. I assume the moment I saw this, that's what I would get from Matthew. One of his first comments. I already have the perfect Iron Fist. I don't need this one. But he does come with a ton of hands, probably the exact same hands that came with Shang-Chi. I doubt they really did anything different. Well, but again, you don't really need to. But figures like this for Shang-Chi, Quick Kick for G.I. Joe, they need the amount of hands. Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, they all should have these because they're using, karate hands like that and stuff. See, I already have the perfect Iron Fist. It's the best Mezco figure. I thought it was going to come sooner. Cressy Crow says, I might make a second Quick Kick out of Iron Fist, seeing as I have to buy it for the other more epic figs. Yeah. So as I mentioned in the open, if I do not see someone right away turn this Luke Cage into a custom Roadblock in civilian clothes, I'm going to be pissed off. Because this is perfect for Roadblock. And I don't know. I don't remember if there was an episode or comic with him and with Roadblock and civilian clothes, but hey, we can make one. Ivan here says, I think we all can agree that the custom Quick Kick we did for Shang-Chi a couple years ago is much better than the one has been released officially. I agree. Listen. I never liked Quick Kick to begin with. I obviously had the figure. I don't think that the Quick Kick head sculpt is great, but I also don't think it's bad. But when people do compare it to that Shang-Chi, I'm just like, you're right. Like the Shang-Chi face is fucking awesome. It's perfect. He stands better than Quick Kick, just the way his feet are designed. But you're pretty much right. All the customs that people did is actually better than most of the. Is better than what we got. Rachel says just needs a chef hat. Well, you can get that by popping on Cobra Island Roadblock. Of course, then you still have a big beard and everything. Because again, if people watch the episode with Lenny, you will find out that, oh my God, that that Roadblock from Cobra Island, he has a chef's hat on, and he's just been on Cobra Island for so long, his beard and everything is grown out. So anyway, so this is the only thing that bothers me. Now, first off, if you have the Mezco Roadblock, that's basically one of the face sculpts they give you. What sucks is that his brass knuckles or knuckle dusters say Luke Cage. So it kind of sucks for a Roadblock, but you can just kind of, I would assume, cut them off and sand them down or do whatever. Yes. Larry and Lenny are besties like Thelma and Louise. We are besties. We're gonna. But yeah, so this again, I want to see this thing turned into a custom right away. No, Roadblock way smaller. Are you talking about the head? Yeah, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Because Roadblock's huge. He's a big giant. I can't imagine Luke Cage would be bigger than that Roadblock. I mean, he's big here, but Roadblock is giant in the G.I. Joe. Woo! Let's sit in this. Punk Rage is my new Joe. He's super strong, I believe, right? I think he has invincible skin and he's super strong. Okay. I don't believe this Luke Cage is going to be bigger than Roadblock. Maybe in the comic he's bigger, but I don't think the actual action figure is, considering I'm looking at him next to Danny Rand, and he's not that much taller. And we already had this discussion on exactly how big Roadblock is. Yeah, he has steel hard skin, and yeah, he's super strong. And he can, well, at least in the Netflix series, he could fuck like a motherfucker. He's missing his leather jacket and red shirt for his fade from the 90s. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I mean, I literally don't know. All right. So now we get to. Listen, I gotta laugh every time I see in a new. I'm sorry, when you do this alone, I have mentioned this numerous times. You have those total blanks. Ghost Rider. But every time you see Ghost Rider, all I can think about is the failed HasLab. Baldy says this Luke Cage is the roadblock that Snake Eyes and Duke should be worried about with Scarlet. Listen, Snake Eyes ain't worried about shit, all right? Duke, on the other hand, well, let's be honest. So I know nothing about this figure. This is the Catch. I forget what his first name is. Someone can tell me what it is. They said it a huge times. Yeah, this is not the Nick Cage one. Ghost Rider has to Uber and live now. I just imagine him like pulling up his iPhone, calling for an Uber because he's got to get somewhere. Anyway, okay, Tony, I don't give a shit. Good Lord, man. You're fucking feisty today, huh? What, did someone fucking tell you to speak English? Anyway. He does come with a bike. And I know nothing about it, but from what I understand, they're saying it looks exactly like it was in the comic book. I believe the 90s, maybe 2000s. Again, I don't know much about it. I just see nice, pretty little plastic. But they talk about how this the front piece actually lowers down, just like in the comic, and it can be used as ramming. Now, this shot actually wasn't meant to be like this. These flame effects actually plug into the tires, but the photographer said, "Oh wow, you can turn this on an angle and make it look like he's sliding." And I think they did a really good job. So I think we're going to see a lot of this. Now, this thing better come in at $55 or more. Just because if they're charging us $55 for Joe vehicles where they don't pay a royalty, then this thing better be at least that expensive and not any less. But yeah, I think this looks good. It's not something that interests me. Here you can see this the armor actually going down. Derek says, yeah, this bike is straight out of the comics. And Samo Toy says, 90s Ghost Rider, that bike is fire. That is all that I've heard, is that people really like it and it looks just like it. So, I mean, I can't speak on it. I can only speak on what I see and what I think it looks like. And again, I think it looks good for what I believe that it's supposed to be. So, Pop Blender says, I had tires that looked like that once. My 83 Z28 caught on fire and burned to the ground. This is making me have flashbacks. Sorry about your 83 Z28. A quick story about a car catching on fire. Actually, I got a couple of them. But back when we used to have to drive our vehicles for work, my cousins, he pulled into a client and he had smoke coming from his car. And he got an oil change, and he said he got an oil change and they left a rag on it that had oil and it caught on fire. And he told us, like, yeah, he goes, yeah, I caught on fire. I ran in there and I got a fire extinguisher and they put it out and didn't do any damage, right? So then I go in and I'm talking to the guy there, and he goes, yeah, the guy that came in and his car was on fire. I'm like, yeah, he told us all about it. He came in running in, and he goes, he didn't come running in. He like came walking in all nonchalant and like, hey, yeah, my car's on fire. Do you have a fire extinguisher? And he goes, I was all like trying to get it for him. And he just like moseyed on out there, wasn't in a hurry, and his engine's on fire. I'm like, what? Like, he wasn't even like concerned. He's like, no, he just kind of came in. So maybe that's what this guy's like. Woo. Okay. And then they have a stand to make it so he's doing a wheelie. So again, I think. Let me move this really quick. Yeah, I think they really stepped their game up. I know a lot of people have a lot of have had a lot of complaints about the Marvel figures that they're doing, but I think they really came in here and every single figure that they showed off was good. Whether you feel like you needed it or not, they're new. They look good. They're an update. I know people hate how many Wolverines, and I will be 100% honest. Even though I think a Wolverine should always be on the pegs, for the most part, I understand he won't always be there. I think there's too many right now, and I understand they're trying to kick in on the anniversary and everything. But I think right now they are producing too many. It's kind of driving people nuts. But I think all the figures that they showed off were really good, whether you like them or not. Again, you don't need to, you don't have to like any of them. If you're talking about my cousin working, that car was not worth anything. He probably had what we have here in Michigan is called PLPD, which means you're only responsible. Like if you get an accident, it only covers the other person's car. We have no fault, so he would just be out. He would have just been shit out of luck. At the same time, Toy says they finally got Ghost Rider right. First time since Toy Biz. See, that I don't know. I don't know enough about it, so I'll take your word for it. But I probably say that about certain G.I. Joe figures, and people. Probably looking like, oh, I'll take your word for it. I don't really know. I think it looks good. DJ Mr. McFly says, what up, Punkin' Roman? Roman just went to lay down. He's all sad right now. Where's the other? Oh, well, the other dog's upstairs too. I once again have my other dog. Tony says same time as Chris. How can you not have gotten one right? I mean, they've had like 18 different types of Ghost Riders. One of them wasn't right. Again, I don't know. I'm asking the rhetorical question. Anyway. Okay. So a little about Haya. I totally forgot. Like a couple weeks ago, I forgot to talk about the Haya Crimson Twins, but we made it to the episode without. No one asked about it, so I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. All right, so we have the Super Exquisite, I believe is what it is. So this is their 6-inch line. Man. The 6-inch line, Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. I have not messed around with any of their 6-inch figures. I'm definitely interested. I think this thing's awesome. I know not everyone's a huge Walking Dead fan, but let's be honest. Soft goods, you could use this in any scene that you want. Any type of display. This is just a guy that, he's been beat up around the block, and put him with your Mezco figures if he fits perfect. He is 6.2 inches, but I'm sure we can find a different weapon for him to use if you wanted to put him in with your Joes or anything like that. All right, you got a crossbow, and again, if you're into I don't know how much. I know there's been a lot of backlash against The Walking Dead at the end. I didn't really mind. I think people have a problem. This is going to be probably a rant. People had a problem that they weren't just always killing zombies. Now, there had to be a personal touch to everything, and I'm sure Matthew will tell me that I'm wrong. But I always liked the human aspect of The Walking Dead when I was watching it. I don't watch any of the spin-offs or anything like that now. So, but this, from what I can see, looks exactly like the actor. I mean, just really dead on. I didn't even realize it was a 6-inch figure at first when I was scrolling through it. And I realized, oh, that's a 6-inch figure. And this looks just like him. And there's a lot more than I can say about the next Hyatt figure that we're going to be looking at. So, if you do need a crossbow for Scarlet, and you're not happy with the Joe one, this is probably one that you can get. A little expensive. So, let's get to his accessories. But, I mean, this guy's, Hyatt looks like they're loading it up with so much stuff. So, they're really trying to go, in my opinion, the Mezco route, where you're going to be spending upwards of $80 to $100 on a figure. They're going to give you a lot of stuff, a lot of soft good stuff. The question is, how good are they? But you can see he has multiple hands. He has his customary knives that he tends to use. 3 different bolts for his crossbow. One of the things I always loved about The Walking Dead is you didn't wonder about why he always had arrows. You constantly saw him pull the arrows out of the zombies or the walkers, or out of people he killed, or out of animals or anything like that. But he's got this big giant satchel or bag, or whatever you want to call it. So, and they give you, what is it, 2 displays, or is it showing it upside down? Daryl Dixon, kind of like a flight stand. They're doing the exact same thing Mezco does, clearly following what they do. And, I think this is probably going to be a big hit, considering people absolutely love this character. And he's not one that is in the comic book. So the only thing I cared about in the whole zombie show was Zombieland. Yeah, again, I for me, The Walking Dead was really, after you got past the first couple of seasons, it was a pain here, right here. The point was the human struggle. Yes. Yeah. Again, you wanted to see hordes of zombies. You wanted to see that stuff. But that's what I saw as time went on. You would think that the human race would want to come together in an apocalypse like that, but in actuality, it would faction off, and that's exactly how. I'm not saying this is exactly how it would be, but you would see people fighting rather than working together. So Matthew, here's the biggest thing that you said. I've never been impressed with high quality of figures, and since I've never messed around with one, I don't know how their 4-inch figures are, and I don't know how their 6-inch figures are. So yeah, and for $100 or $80 to $100, that's normally what these things run. If I remember correctly, Rambo was. It's you're taking a leap to justify that. Again, you can do 25, and how people didn't want to spend $32 on Valorverse because they're saying that it's too expensive. You get to $80 to $100, and you don't have a great reputation like you do with Mezco, other than how long it takes them to ship your shit. It says burning shit is equally as bad as boring shit. I guess. Yeah, listen, it's not for everyone, and again, Payne put it best. It's the show was really about the human aspect of it and how people would handle stuff. And again, if that's not what you're into, then that's not what you're into. Listen, I'm not going to shame anyone that didn't want to watch it or said they didn't watch it. I think they missed out on a good show, but there's a lot of good shows that people say that I missed out on. People tell me how great Game of Thrones are. And I was like, I've never watched it. Oh, you need to watch it. I'm like, didn't the last season suck? Yeah, but I'm like, well, then why would I want to watch it to find out the last season sucked? Okay, so Odin. So Odin says the higher rambles look good in DM Mason's recent video, somewhat better than the solicitation photos to my eyes. Okay, I have not watched it. I was going to buy one of the Rambos. Once it got pointed out that Rambo looks exactly like the face sculpt looks exactly like Al Pacino, I couldn't get over it. A matter of fact, I believe on Oz's show on one Saturday, we had a blast. We went down the rabbit hole of Al Pacino being on Rambo, and all the figures looked wrong, like all the face sculpts. So maybe they fixed it a little bit. And again, I've mentioned before the Destro, like the Mezco Destro, the one face that I said that I would never use, is my favorite face. To me, it's the best face. And all the solicitations, I thought it looked awful. It looked stupid. And to me, it's the best one. So, but again, $80. I think that's what it was, 80 or 85, something like that. But I haven't watched it. The Amazing does not pop up in my algorithm, so I hardly ever see his stuff. Matthew will sometimes hit me up and be like, "Hey, did you see The Amazing's video?" I know he gets his Mezcos well before I get mine, because I'm pretty sure Mezco sends figures to specific people beforehand. I'm just saying, Mezco, thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. All right. And then there's this figure. And I don't know what to say to this. So this is from the new Star Trek series, the Kelvin series. I guess it's not new anymore. And this is supposed to be Bones. And this looks nothing like him. And if I remember correctly, the 4-inch Haya that they did, the face sculpt looks dead on to the actor. This one here, I looked at and I went, oh, I thought they showed this before. And then I noticed, oh, wait a minute, that's soft goods. Is this a 6-inch figure? So I don't know how you get the 4-inch face sculpt proper, but then completely fuck this one up. Like, don't you just enlarge the 4-inch figure, like the 4-inch sculpt? Like, hey, go in your 3D printer and you enlarge it just a slight bit, and you're good. This thing looks awful. The figure itself doesn't. If we chop off his head. So I had to brick something here. Neat Star Trek cosplay figure. Bill Hader, right? I know it's not Carl Urban. Other than that, the figure looks pretty damn good. All right, it looks like a Mego that actually you can pose nicely. But I look at this face sculpt and I'm just like, what? I need to figure out how they fucked this up. Because I thought for sure that the 4-inch figure looked really good. I thought most of the 4-inch figures that they did with this looked awesome. Ken says, I have a crush on Carl Urban. On this one, if he looked like this, you wouldn't have a crush on him. I'm just saying. Not to shame anyone that looks like this, but yeah. Yeah, it does kind of look like a tiny head. I didn't notice because it just looked so bad that I wasn't even focusing on how small it was. But it does kind of look like the big guy from the Umbrella Academy that has the big, huge shoulders. It says this is when the licensor needs to say go back to the drawing board. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, they really need to, especially when they're like, hey, we saw the 4-inch. How'd you do that? Rachel says, Damn it, Jim! It's Botox. um, yeah, I would much prefer Mezco to do some updated, the original series crew members. Well, this isn't Mezco. Maybe that's the reason why. My bet is that they went with this because it was probably easier to get than getting any of the newer figures, and probably also had hopes that they would be doing something down the roads, like some new shit, which would have been nice, except for all these actors ended up getting too big for themselves and then wanted too much money and not realizing this is an ensemble cast. You can't demand stuff like it's your movie. You have to take less money, and it sucks because I really enjoyed it. It says their Kirk looks good, but if I remember correct, I thought the Kirk looked pretty good. And I'm trying to remember if they did a 4-inch Kirk that I said the exact opposite, where I'm like, this looks awful. But I swear I remember this coming out, and I was like, this looks really good. Because I remember when they did a 4-inch version of Spock, we all made the comment that it looks more like Leonard Nimoy than the actual character that he's supposed to be. Then they came out with the old Leonard Nimoy, and I was like, that looks dead on. Damn, wife even took my face in the divorce. All I got left was my bones. If you have not seen the movie, that's almost what he said. I love it. Oh, I love it. So Allison says, then it created a good facial sculpt, but the body matched poorly. Probably the exact same body as this. All right. But hey, if you need a Kelvin Star Trek figure, here you go. It is available. And here's everything that you get. You get 3 bad face sculpts for the price of 1. You get the tricorder, your phaser, the stand. It's not a flight stand per se. I don't know if that would actually hold the figure up in the air. Not that he would need to. You get the multiple hands here. So nice accessories, and I think the bulk looks really good. I can't look and not see the tiny head anymore. It reminds me of the tiny mags that I talk about for some of the weapons for Valivers. Tiny mags. These are tiny heads. But they're bad heads too. I don't know. Maybe I know they showed it a while ago, so who knows? Maybe Ramen's doing it, so it will come out in 3 years from now or something, man. I don't know. Woo! All right, maybe another drink. So we got some Monster Force. I feel like we might actually get some Monster Force sometime this year. God, I hope so. So they got some Paint Masters. So here was this list. I can't talk anymore. Sometimes I think 3 hours is a little bit too much. All right. These were the solicitations for General Brown. And if you notice, there are 4 different head sculpts, different hands, so you can have different colored figures. Obviously, there's a different colored neck peg that also goes into it. And there's also a removable pocket. So you can change, whoever the general is, different glasses and different things like that. Matthew has said this is basically the Juggalos from G.I. Joe. If you look, the one is clearly a representation of the original G.I. Joe figure. Unfortunately, he's not flocked, but maybe my moderator can flock one. I don't know. I have 2 moderators. I don't think one's here. I figured once Monster Force showed up, he'd magically just come back. The Jugglers. Okay. I said the Jugglers. I said Juggalos. I said the Juggalos. I meant the Jugglers. The Juggalos are those idiots that shoot Fago all over from Detroit that want to be rappers. So anyway, this is what they showed off. These are the Paint Masters. So usually with the Paint Masters, this is exactly what things are going to look like, or what they should look like. And I got to say, I'm not disappointed in what I'm seeing. Of course, until we get one in hand, I don't know. Oh, look, he is here. See? All right, I don't know. I know you have a lot of stuff going on. We all do so. But I can take shots at you. Berkeley says, "Oh, don't tease me with the Monster Force. I can't wait anymore." Dude, Beckley, you, and this guy right here, and this guy right here, and Bees Battleground. Yes. ICP and a Joeverse. I am from Detroit, and I would be fully against that, okay? Well, here's the whole thing. I was starting to think that they were being made by Ramen Toys too, and we were never going to see them. But you'll see at the end that I think we have some stuff coming. All right. So D says it kind of looks like an old LeVar. It does. Yeah, it actually does. And I think it looks good. I mean, so this is the Paint Master. There are knees on this. They're really hard to see. You have to zoom in. There are knees because I had to look like, do these things really have knees? Because they're hard to see, but they're there. So here is like the final paint with all the figures. I'm not going to lie, though. When I look at, this last face sculpt here, it doesn't look nearly as good as what I'm seeing here. Now, again, digital renders, you're definitely going to see, you're going to see something different. So here, I just don't think that looks good. Where was that at? 78 here says articulation doesn't look good. I think that might be because this is on the military, the military suit buck. So I think maybe they're looking at it like you don't need all that much articulation. Again, you can't see the knees, but the knees are there because I zoomed in on it. So there is knee articulation. The ankle articulation, I would assume, I'm not going to say it is for sure, but I'm going to assume it's the same as how Shipwreck is, where all the articulation is down underneath that cuff. So I don't think you're going to have a problem there. Not having a thigh cut is a huge problem when you're talking about being able to articulate certain figures. When it comes to something like this, I think I might be able to deal with the articulation not being great because I'm not going to expect a full suited general to be out, in the battlefield or doing too much. But I do see what you're saying. But hey, if they use the same pliable rubber that Jada Toys uses for their Street Fighter figures, you would be absolutely surprised because the ab crunch wouldn't even be affected by this. I don't know why everyone isn't using that. That is what every company should be using, and you would think it'd probably be cheaper because it's thinner also. But this is the general. This is the final Paint Master. So it usually does mean you get to the Paint Master. They should be coming eventually. And then they got the Paint Master of this. So this is for one of your troopers. If you want to make them a zombie, they're giving you a bunch of different things. Now, again, if you notice, these weapons are being created by Gridiron. So here's the Paint Master. I don't know if Gridiron actually painted this. If Gridiron did it, it's awesome. But these are going to be mold injected. If you watch my review with Mark from Gridiron, it made Lenny a little jealous, according to Allison. They're all going to be mold injected. So I don't think you can get the same detail that you do out of an actual Gridiron. But at the same time, he did talk about weapons packs. And it'd be at a cheaper price because it's going to be mold injected. But here is everything painted. And again, I think this looks pretty damn sweet. Again, you can only ask for so much, but yeah. So Ed says, Delta Red are the good guys turned into vampires to fight the evil vampires. So what they are doing, say hi to Largo, how are you doing? So if you haven't caught up on Monster Force, they're creating military figures. Some will be zombified. Obviously, this one you can make into a vampire. Or you can just use them as regular figures. Get rid of the Monster Force symbol or whatever it is. So there's going to be a lot that they're going to do with this. I think it's really going to cut into like the Valaverse line. I don't think it's going to touch G.I. Joe. I don't think it even hurts G.I. Joe, just like I don't believe Valaverse hurts G.I. Joe at all. They are a juggernaut right now. They are living off, 40-year-old IP. But this is something that I do believe if they come out of the gate and they're really good, they're going to hurt any other type of military line. Valaverse is really the only big, 6-inch military line or 1/12 military line going right now. And I think this might really eat into a lot of what they're doing. I think everything G.I. Joe has already done, kind of hurts them in many ways because people don't need background characters. But a lot of what you're going to get here, like I said, if you don't know about Monster Force, is they've taken something that, again, the Mummy and, the Invisible Man and, Van Helsing, these are all characters we've had forever, and now they've just created it into a military line. They've weaponized them where some are going to be good and some are going to be bad, and, I think it's just awesome. So, these were the Paint Masters, but then, thanks to Marcus Chang, 1986, I saw these. Now, I don't know if he's the first one that dropped them or not, but here we have a new look at, what the hell was his name? Kilowog. Not Kilowog, the Green Lantern, but this figure. Largo says, excited for Monster Force. Gridiron designs have always been great. Price point, not so much, but collaboration from Fresh Monkey is a good idea. Yes, and I talked to Mark about it, and he talked about how it came, and I think it's absolutely, it's awesome. And I think a lot of people will get to get some of these Gridiron designs. Speaking of any speculation on what Valaverse's 100th figure will be, they've been teasing for a while. I have no idea. I don't know. It'll probably be another repaint, or it'll be a figure that that the buck will be used 100 times. Maybe it'll be the first brand new figure that they're finally going to do. You know what? I don't think it's going to be anything exciting, in my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Crimson Cobra Commander says this goes with Joe's. The head monster for Joe, so this fits in with me. Yeah. I just think they look awesome. So here we have him putting on a big predator, whatever this thing is called. I'm not even going to try and figure out what it is. A big predator thing. But it doesn't look like it's double jointed, but again, you're looking at a big giant wolf man. And I just think that this line, it's going to hit. I think it's going to hit people in a special way, because you got people like Brick Something that are so into these types of things, and then you got army people like me that are all into it. I'm intrigued by the collabs for Monster Force. Already mentioned Gridiron, and I assume you'll mention Master Union here for the Wolf. Honestly, I don't know anything about those. I just know who Gridiron is. So, Brick, I will not be mentioning that, and it has nothing to do with that other than I just happen to see this. I don't really know what's... yeah. I ain't gonna lie about it. Halt the Basher. I'm already tired of looking at figures before I even get them anymore. Monster Force I saw at PowerCon last year, and nothing but pictures since. I am with you 100%. I am not gonna lie. It is absolutely aggravating. It is very disappointing. The only thing that I can say about Monster Force compared to some other companies is that they don't take your money because it's through big, BBTS. So until they come out, your funds have not been charged. You're not waiting a year to 2 years like a Kickstarter. It doesn't make it any better. I mean, it doesn't make it any better, but I understand what you're saying. And the reason why I think this means the figures are on the way is they said they would not be putting up any more or showing off anything else until the first wave comes out. And then this comes out. And they are planning on being at Joe Fest, if I'm correct. So I think, I would assume stuff's got to be coming soon. Valiverse needs a bad guy leader. Dude, they only have, I think 2 bad guys that are actually characters. All the other ones are troop builders. So you're absolutely correct on that. 100th Fig is a soccer mom for the man. With Karen hair. It looks like He-Man. I wonder if my timber head would fit on a Joe body. I believe somebody either popped Timber or Junkyard on one of the figures. I thought I've seen that before. Anyway. Here he is with a giant minigun, or maybe a small minigun. Again, looks awesome. Who doesn't want a werewolf that says, fuck it, I ain't going to chase you down. I'm just pulling out my minigun and I'm going to mow you down. Hey, listen, let's get an actual figure in hand before we start talking about vehicles, all right? War chest full of toys. I've been hyped over Monster Force. That's kind of how I found all the toy tubers before they were a thing. I had never looked on YouTube for toys. Yeah, I you know what? I'm not going to say because of Monster Force, but I think there's a lot of people that didn't realize there's this community for toys. I know I didn't really realize it. But God, I know that it's there now. So, yeah, again, this figure, I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it. Headache 77. Viper Island King will be the 100th figure. And Valiverse Big Bad. All right. So, we're going to get the G.I. Joe. But what I am going to do, because I can, is I'm going to take another quick breather away from everyone. So, while you are waiting, if I can find it, where the hell's it at? Here's the first Mossman commercial.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Mossman, what are you doing back here?
Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Mossman, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain. Ha 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 ha.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that's
Bob.
Skeletor. That's Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Right.
Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself.
Oh, some action figures sound kind of nice. Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Ben.
Yeah, Beastman, we don't say that around here. We go to helldopetoys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beastman. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh package box that I got from helldopetoys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to hellodopetoys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
All right, so I just need another breather. So let's talk a little G.I. Joe here. Don't really have very much, but we have a little bit to talk about. Can remove this really quick here. And I'm going to go over and share this screen here because I want to. I saw someone talking about this earlier, and again, it goes back to what I said about how I don't really believe a lot of Joe collectors are toy collectors. They don't really pay attention to a lot of stuff like some of us that are way more involved in this. So if you did order the HMS, it is set for April 23rd. It has been moved up. When they tell you that it's going to charge on April 23rd, that means somewhere between 12 a.m. and 12:10, they usually charge you. So if you don't have the funds, you better either make sure you have the funds or take this off your pre-order list because you are going to get charged your $70, probably $80 after taxes. If you don't have a Hasbro Premium, well, first off, you're stupid if you don't have a Hasbro Premium and you're ordering all this G.I. Joe stuff that is exclusive there because you get free shipping. Just saying that right now. All right? I know people don't want to pay that, the $50, but you get free shipping. So let me just tell you right now, if you're ordering G.I. Joe stuff, the amount of stuff they give us that is Pulse exclusive, you need to have that. So this will be going up on the 23rd. Understand they moved up a lot of stuff. They have moved up a lot of the pre-orders. I believe Doc and all them. That's so August 15th. Maybe they haven't moved them up. Amazon has moved up a bunch of them. So start looking for that. Just be ready to get charged. Hasbro will let you know for the most part. I was just really surprised when I saw the guy talking about it that he didn't realize it. Remember, all these figures, this Duke and Scarlet and all them, they've all been moved up. I forget which ones have been moved up to, I think, May 31st. But they're still staying July. I think it was this wave right here. So on Amazon, they have been moved up, which usually means Pulse is going to move them up sooner rather than later. But keep an eye on that. If you don't have like a dedicated credit card, if you don't have something that's dedicated to it, and you're like, hey, you know what? That's not going to come out for another few months. I'm going to pre-order it. Just be aware that, hey, it's coming, and you don't want to be screwed when the time comes, especially if you have other bills and stuff to pay. So, Pop Letter says, I'm just not a fan of charging you later instead of when you order. It's not like Hasbro's or Kickstarter. You'll get the product. I'd rather be charged immediately when I order. I've heard people say that. That's why that's kind of why recently I've just been ordering the Mezco and paying it. I don't like that, but at the same time, I have specific funds, and as we've all recently found out, I have so much money from YouTube that I get to pay whatever I want. No, in all honesty, like for me, it's a little different, and that's because of how I'm doing stuff. But I understand what you're saying, and you're right. They're Hasbro. It's not like you're not going to get it. Who does it? If you order with PayPal from Walmart, they charge you right away. They don't any other way. They charge you right away if you use PayPal. So all those things, and I've never gotten screwed out of stuff that I've ordered from there. And I think that might be the reason why, because it's more of a hassle for them to go through and cancel something that's from already been paid for. Let's see, they should have rendered the Raptor today or on tax day. The marketing team is still slacking. You know what? My toy shop, Sergeant Reds, they had IRS, Irwin R. Shyster from Money Inc. in yesterday. So the day before tax. And John said, he goes, no, we planned it like that. I'm like, it's like, that's what I would do. And if I was him, I would charge more too, because that was their whole gimmick. But I guess it was more expensive to get both, because they do have the $1 Million Man coming, but it would be more to have them together, which is ridiculous. Anyway. All right, so we get to the little bit of G.I. Joe news that we had. So we talked about this on Monday because so images showed up, and then on Tuesday morning, people got sniped with the pre-orders, which I happened to see for Pulse. And then, of course, it was sold out in 15 minutes. And, oh, my gosh, the crybabies began. No, you're talking about are you talking about... No, IRS was Mike Rotundo. DDS, are you thinking about Dr. Isaac Yankums? I don't know who DDS was, unless I was maybe in... I say DDS, I'm thinking dentist. Because that was... No. The dentist was Kane. Dr. Isaac Yankums, that was Kane. And the fake Diesel. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, they're starting to make me like Tiger Force. Tony and I were talking about this, and I think they have done such a good job of kind of toning down the Tiger Force to make it look respectable when it comes to the color palette. I don't really care so much for the four-wheeler. It's there. I don't hate it. It's not as ugly as the Ram, which is awful. But it's cool to have another one of these. But yeah, so they dropped this here. It went up. I heard the whines, the cries. I am shocked that it sold out on Target. I was also shocked to find out, because I didn't pre-order it. I was also shocked to find out that the Roadblock and whatever the guy's name is had also sold out. I didn't even realize that. So I don't even have that on pre-order. The Roadblock and I don't know why I can't think of his name. Tripwire. So if people are wondering that aren't in the know, the reason why this is a Firefly repaint is because this was supposed to come out before. Back in '88, it was a repaint of it was a repaint of Firefly named Sabretooth. And then later on, they finally produced it, but they produced them as Wreckage. I believe there was a little bit of a paint change, but for the most part, it's the exact same figure. Or maybe they'll eventually do two different ones. But that is why we get a Firefly. He has all the same accessories as Firefly. Now, I wish they really would have veered away and then maybe some different accessories just to make him look different. If you look at it, they were actually talking about the full force. I think it would have been awesome if they would have given him Rakondo's gun, because that's what Sabretooth originally had. So here he has, he gets this nice running shot. So this is all new stuff. It went up. It will be available at Target. I thought I put a better shot, but if you look at his face, so the balaclava has a saber tooth painting on it, which I think is awesome. So, they did the saber tooth. They named him Wreckage. I'm assuming they really didn't want to go back and forth with Marvel, who owned the rights to Sabretooth. Again, it's an animal. I don't know how you can copyright that, but I'm sure there's something, or maybe they just didn't even want to have any type of battle with it, so they just went with Wreckage. I don't really care. Again, it's your toy. Fucking call him Sabretooth if you want. No one's coming to take it. Oh, wait a minute. Glenn Jacobs was also the Christmas creature. Look that gimmick up. All right, I'm interested. Cressy O'Crow says Sabretooth, then Wreckage. Later he became Nacho Libre and was Rey Mysterious for 3 nights, and now Wreckage again. I thought Rakondo Fig was lame till the retro card came out. Yeah, well, yeah, Marvel owns Sabretooth. But how do you own the name? It's the name of an animal, right? I mean, it's like if Marvel had a figure named Elephant and G.I. Joe wanted to have a codename Elephant, how do you stop that? Or Dog, right? I mean, it's the name. It's not something that's made up that they can own. So I don't know if it was just one of those things they didn't even want to go down that road and find out if someone's going to fight with them. Just, again, whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's neither here nor there. But it is a Sabretooth looking face. So Wreckage is, for all intents and purposes, Sabretooth. They did give him the mask. So this is nice because let's say you decide you want to army build these. Or you find them on clearance for $25 or $20. That'd be awesome. But now you don't have a whole bunch of figures that are going to look the exact same. So you can add these helmets on them. And it really works out. And it definitely will make people happy. I think this helmet, this is the type of stuff that they're going to be able to do to make things really cool. Just look, I want to trying to figure out what. I'm not sure what Jeremy said not cool to. So, yeah, Zoran, listen, I mean it, dude. Don't bring that shit here. All right? I have already said this before, dude. If you don't like her, that's fucking fine. But don't bring that shit here. No, dude, it's not a fucking joke, all right? It's not a fucking joke. I know people think that it's fucking a joke. But, again, that type of shit is not fucking cool. All right? So, we'll just leave it at that. All right? Anyway, back to this thing. I'm happy with it. I know Crusty Old Crow, he had made a comment about how it bothers him with the it bothered him with the ram cycle that you could take the minigun off, but there wasn't an ammo canister for it. He kind of said the same thing about this, and I'm like, hey, dude, there's probably a laser cannon anyway. And again, that's the type of stuff that you can kind of go back and forth there. So, but again, to each their own. I don't know why I put this picture in. I was like, hey, I need an extra picture. Here's everything, and again, like I said, you look at everything, all you get is Firefly. Here's the thing that I don't get. Here's the thing that I don't get. They gave him the remote control, but I don't see the RC car. So unless the RC car isn't there, and someone literally just took the promo shot of Firefly and put it up there and didn't even realize it when they hit the colors. Yeah. Oh, the ferret is the RC car. I guess technically it could be. Yeah. I just happened to notice that. It just seems kind of weird, but either way. And there you go. We'll see how well this does, right? When you look at the trouble bubbles that were sitting in there, they were all clearanced out. The ram cycles, they all seem to get clearanced out. Not the first ones, but the Tiger Force Duke. This is something that could easily kill. They could easily kill us getting vehicles in stores. I don't really have a problem with them being all like Pulse exclusives or what's the other thing? Like fan channel exclusives, if that's how they're going to do vehicles. Just because, we really don't. Again, these are big. They're going to take up space. And if they're going to go on clearance, just like all the Motu vehicles, you notice they're not really. I mean, I know Origin seems to be dead, but they kind of stopped doing those vehicles for quite some time. So here's the back of the box. And we know what this looks like. So the last thing before we get into the topic is this drop. And I know normally we don't talk movies. I know we don't always talk movies, but they have confirmed that they are going to do a G.I. Joe Transformer crossover. And you better believe that Bonaventure is the one that will be producing it, which means he'll have his fucking dirty little fucking hands on it and will probably ruin everything. And say thank you to Wraith Mace for gifting 5 memberships for me to leech off these people. Same Time Toys, DeBriscoe, Toyamic Displays, Sean Forrester, and Cobra Commander all got free memberships for 1 month from Wraith Mace. And let me tell you, not that I don't want anyone to have it, but what wonderful people. These are all people that are constantly in the chat. So I think it's best. I mean, I love, when I see a name on there that is someone who is just watching, but when it's the people that are constantly in the chat and helping to grow the community, I think it's great that they're the ones that get gifted the membership. So, anyway, here we have this. Since nobody knows what universe we're in anymore, this is almost like DC. All right? We don't know where it fits. Does it fit with the old stuff? Does it fit with the new stuff? How the G.I. Joe stuff, the Snake Eyes doesn't even fit. does Bumblebee really fit in? I mean, Bumblebee could be a prequel. It could be a standalone. No one really understands. You look at Beast Wars, and you're like, I don't really understand with it. It's like, and now you're going to combine the two of them and let Devon Adventure be the person that's in charge of it. I'd rather have Michael Bay doing big explosions. I don't have much faith for this. I want to be wrong. A lot of those Transformer movies ended up being complete fucking garbage. Rachel says everything will be fine until the Dino Hunters take out the Dinobots. You need to be here every fucking Monday night. Okay? You need to be here every fucking Monday night because you fucking lead on. And you know what? I love the Full Force. I think Chris McLeod, I don't think he really enjoys my sense of humor so much. But again, I do like watching Chris. I see you there all the time, Rachel. And you can't. He doesn't find a lot of that stuff as funny as some of us do. So you need to be here every Monday night. You can still go there on Saturdays. I mean, I do. So be here. Toy Binging says, is this show usually Mondays? This show is always Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do not miss Mondays. So great to have you here. Love seeing new faces. I'm assuming that you either only caught this once or twice, but yes, every Monday night I am here all alone, and it's an experience, right? If you don't know, today we got to find we got to experience the great 2024 battery debacle for the mouse. Hey, you're very welcome. Listen, I see a lot of good people in a lot of chats, and I see a lot of good shows. And like I mentioned, like I don't go on other shows and talk about my show. That's not why anyone is there. You're just hoping that someone sees you chatting enough, and they go and they find your channel and be like, holy shit, I actually enjoy this person. Or they say, God, this guy is a complete fucking asshole. I can't stand him. Hey, either way, it's good by me. I only wish. I wish. Anyway, so I don't have a lot of hope for this, but I will have hope that maybe they just get one right. But I just can't imagine that they have a hard time creating a good Transformer movie. They've had no luck creating a good G.I. Joe movie, and they're going to combine them to make one good franchise. But will I go see it? Probably. I will go see it. And I will be part of the problem. And Toy Binging says, I just subbed. I have a new channel and I just started uploading. I'm trying to participate in all the streams to say hello. Listen, right there. And I'll let you get away with it here. Like I said, word of advice, when you do start a channel, don't go talking about your channel. But you're just you're chatting. You're just chatting. But the one thing that channels hate, I'm the biggest one, and I will say it, is I don't like when people come in and talk about their other channels. But you are just talking, so it's cool. Like, you're just kind of telling me what you're doing, but you're doing the right thing. Start your channel, go in, chat with people, get people to know you, right? And people will eventually click on, and they'll start tuning in if they like the content that you're creating. So just do it that way. If you go in promoting your channel, they will never come in there. There is one person in the full force that drives me. Not one person that goes into the full force chat. It drives me fucking nuts because I don't give two shits about your channel. Right? I'm not there to find out about when your channel is fucking gonna be live. Okay, so you guys found another trigger for me. What do you mean? Come on, you're not. Come on, man, you're not being cool. What are you talking about? No, Mega J never goes into the full force. It is Peppermint Patty, and I don't know. Some people have said that him and that he's cool because he promotes. He's cool with Chris because he promotes Sergeant Slaughterhouse. I'm sorry, like you just don't go on other people's channels and start talking about yours. For me, when I know you have a good channel, I will promote your channel. I will promote the Island of Misfit Toys that Ryan Sweeney runs. I will promote Shark-Eyed Toy View that you'll never fucking find because all you'll find is shark eyes. Like literally, you will find shark eyes. But I will promote my buddy's channel. Allison, same thing, right? So that's just my little bit of advice for you. Take it or leave it, But yeah. Yeah, I would never promote Viper Island. Dude, listen. Hey, listen. Don't be sorry. Again, you've been here enough. All right. So let me tell you something. You've been here enough that, listen, if you were to mention your channel when you're talking to somebody, it's not that big of a deal. It's when, again, now I feel like I'm piling on someone who just showed up here, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But you'll see the people. If what he just said, that he's trying to get in channels and start chatting with people, that's what you do, man. If toy binging, like if that's what you do. Like people will find who you are, they will show up. They will show up and they'll jump over there and they'll be happy to support you. And again, I'm not saying that's what he was doing. I sure hope he wasn't, because I love getting, new subscribers. You know how I am, man. I am just fucking, I'm ripping the people off with my channel memberships, my super chats that I get. Of course, now all my super chats have to go to batteries. Oh man. Toy Binging says, I was in the audience at the WonderCon Hasbro panel. To be honest, I didn't care for the way one member of the panel was condescending the crowd, telling us how to and not to ask. Huh. Why do I feel that's going to be Emily? I feel like it's lightning, but see, that is different, and I've talked about that. God, I fucking hate going off on these. Like, I'm never gonna get to the. I'm never gonna get to it. It was, again, if that's a criticism that you have, that is different than criticizing the way she looks or her weight. That type of stuff bothers me. All right. If you're criticizing how you feel someone is saying, hey, this is how you need to do stuff, I have no problem with that, because you are criticizing something that they do that you don't agree with. So, yeah. Okay. So I watched, if you're talking about, Emily made it clear what can be answered, somewhat waste my time. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of coming back to me. So that's one of those things. that yeah, so okay, so if you man, I'm gonna get to I'm gonna get to this here for you. Hold on, I'm gonna get to what you asked me. Who asked me it? About the how do you promote your channel? Don't forget all Crimson. I'm gonna get to this, okay? Yeah, one of the things is when it comes to that type of stuff, and it's very difficult for them because understand they're a corporation, they are told they can't answer certain things. So they don't want somebody standing up there going, hooded Cobra Commander, why aren't we getting him? When are we like they don't like they can't answer that. She was very direct, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And hey, you know what? You might have an issue with that, and maybe you might be new. Maybe you haven't watched. I mean, if you're a WonderCon, I'm assuming you've been around enough that you would understand or know who she is, I guess. So that I don't really have a problem. You're kind of criticizing something that you don't like about how someone does something. It's different than attacking, physical characteristics of them. Okay, so how can I ask how you promote your channel? Wow. Is on what? Quickly, I'm going to answer that. That's actually what question are you talking about? There's so much stuff going here that I can't that I can't really see what it unless you're talking about what I'm talking about. Yeah, so you promote it on like your social medias. You create your own, obviously Instagram and stuff like that. But like I said, if you're in enough channels, if you're in there and you're talking and you're part of the community, that's the biggest thing is being part of a community. People will eventually click on your name and find out who you are. Or someone will see you did a video. Now, if Shark Eyes is in here, right? And he dropped that HMS. He hasn't said one thing about it. But if I see someone say, hey, Shark, man, I saw your HMS review. Awesome. Now, someone else has reached out to him. That's the community. They're talking to each other. If someone says, oh, hey, Shark, dude, you have a channel? And he's like, yeah, here it is. That's fine. Because now they've started talking and they're wondering. And that's organically, it will happen. If you're not part of the community, your channel will stay stagnant. It stays stagnant. So many guys I have met, Cobweb, Allison, Thanos Copter. A lot of these people are known on like Geek Dead Life, Toy Anxiety. Nolan was huge. Like, those fuckers don't know who I am. I honestly mean it. Like, they don't know who the fuck I am. And again, you can see where the channel's gone. Like, you can see how the channel has grown. And just organically. And that's what you want. Because if you're not doing it organically, when you lose that whole point, or you lose that whole process of jumping in and getting, hey, I have a channel, and you get a few people that pop in there and they subscribe, eventually people go, dude, this fucker's in here all the damn time. I don't give a shit about his fucking channel. He's an asshole, When it organically starts happening, then you start figuring out this is how it happens. But to promote your own channel, again, you do not get big. Most of us, you don't really get big from doing lives. It's from doing reviews. People do not subscribe on lives. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I've mentioned it so many times, and Punks on Film is a perfect example. I can't get people to go there. right? Matthew and I have struggled. Everyone just comes here, and that's why I'm like, it's time to just cut it off. Look, here it is. Here, I'm just gonna promote it. But having your own Instagram, being in other people, like following other people and chatting with other people, they will jump on it. There are again, look at some of the channels, and this is not disrespect towards anyone. And I know when you say not to disrespect anyone, you're about to disrespect people. There are a lot of people that are known that don't have channels that are that big because they're not creating content that causes people to hit like. I'm not saying they're not creating good content. They're not creating content that make people hit subscribe. All right. But you'll see a lot of people that are way more well-known than me. Their channels are way smaller than mine. In their live streams, they have less people, but they're on Geek Dad Life. They're on toy anxiety. They're on toy habits, right? Like they are known, but someone sees you on Geek Dad Life, they don't go to your channel and subscribe. You're on toy anxiety. Not everyone will go there, even if they like you. And also, you're on a lot of channels. A lot of people are like, well, I've already heard your opinion. Why do I need to hear it again? What are you going to offer me that's something different? Mega J has a lot of people on his shows. And if you look at, those people, they're way more well known than me, but they have a smaller footprint on YouTube. And again, they're not creating content that causes people to hit like. And they're not producing their own, like I've said it before, creating content like my reviews and stuff, that gets people to like and subscribe. Once you hit 1,000 and you're monetized, listen, it's all pats on the back. Don't get me wrong, I'm shooting for 5,000. Hit 4,000, I'm shooting for 5,000. It's a pat on the back. But how many people do you watch that you're no longer subscribed to, or maybe you never were, but it pops up in the algorithm? How many people are you subscribed to that you never see? Because guess what? You haven't liked their video. You haven't watched it. And YouTube's like, well, you must not like it. And you're like, no, dude, I just fucking wasn't on here for 3 fucking days and didn't watch any of their shit. Now you hitting it on me, and I haven't seen it in 6 months. But you also promote it by, again, Instagram to me is huge. Once you get on there and you're communicating, people will start subscribing to you. But don't expect people to subscribe to you just because you subscribe to them. So many people have subscribed to my channel. I'll go and I'll look at what they're doing. If they don't have content that is appealing to me, I'm not going to subscribe to their channel. It's not disrespectful towards them. It should be the same with me. If I go and subscribe to, a bodybuilder's, page or a skateboarder's page, they look at my page and they're like, oh, it's toys. I don't really care about toys. Why would you subscribe to me? And you don't do the 1-for-1. But someone subscribes to me, I go and look at their page and I'm like, oh, look, man, that is a sweet shot of fucking Wolverine. That is an awesome Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I'm going to subscribe because they're producing content that I enjoy. So don't ever get mad or feel like, oh, every time I subscribe, people aren't subscribing back. You got to give them content that they're going to enjoy. Whew. Love when we get to this. I see. So I see toy binging. I remember I was ready to laugh out loud when she asked, "How about pronouns?" I openly talked about that. I'm not a fan of the whole pronouns thing. I know Alice and I have disagreements on that. But again, if I'm getting up to ask a question, I don't need to give you my fucking pronoun. If I tell you my name, listen, we're going to talk for like 30 seconds. You don't need to refer to me as any pronoun. Just refer to me by my name, or just say thanks. Have a great day. I don't even give a shit. But yeah, and say hi to Jeff Morris. I'm just kind of going back here. It says, as a publicly traded company, they cannot answer questions that haven't been approved by their legal team. Yeah. So again, I know what you're talking about now. Once that I said it, I didn't really look at it as being rude, just because I understood what they were trying to get. But taking myself out of that position, and I look at things very logically, to the detriment of what a lot of people think, I could see how that could come off as being absolutely rude. Hey, if Duracell, Energizer, if they want to pay me, I'm all for it, man. I will take a battery sponsorship in a fucking second, all right? Because as we all know, I am already just rolling in money from what YouTube is giving me. That your super chats and your memberships, well, I mean, they're just icing on the cake, all right? As we found out, I dry my tears with the amount of money that I make from YouTube. Really, I only dry my tears with the money that I get from your memberships, because I make so much from everything else. You know what? I swear everyone is sponsored by Manscaping. I swear, like, every male is. So it probably wouldn't be that hard to to get that, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably what I would get. The dollar store. I'd probably get that. Crusty Old Crow says, Punk, we can't hear you over the cash register. Ching ching. It says, oh, they criticize her because their views like to make them tired, or they criticize her because her viewers like to make the same tired joke over and over for the last. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Are any of the Heart Foundation still alive, Ken? I'm just wondering. Yes, and my super chats are what I use to wipe my ass with. Jeff Moore says, the trolling is heavy tonight. I need some of that sweet YouTube money. So anyway, that was completely off topic, but I'm glad that you guys asked, because, it goes back to the whole gatekeeping thing that I talked about before. Again, I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot by watching, and I was saying Nick Nimmin, vidIQ, Daniel Batista, Nick Nimmin's brother. He does a show, and how to grow your channel, how to create better content for the viewing audience. Battery's dying. I don't think he's really the best way to grow the audience. But it makes for entertaining. It makes for entertainment, that is for sure. But no, I actually listen. I'm more than happy to give any type of advice that I know that can help people out down the road. Because again, the last thing that you want is a channel that has a good host, has a good reviewer, someone who's giving good content, and someone won't watch it, or people won't watch it because they're like, no, this guy comes in and he does it the wrong way. And I have had other people say, hey, you know what? You have a fairly big following. You have a lot of viewers, so you don't need to do that, but I need to do that to grow mine. And it's like, no, you don't, because they don't like it. I mean, I've talked to a lot of creators on Instagram and stuff like that have said the same thing. Like, it's just not how you go about it. I never understood a commercial, let's say a Ford commercial, when they would take a shot at Dodge or Chevy and mention them by name. Like, why would you mention your competitor and show their vehicle, right? Because the last thing that I want is that one Ford guy looking going, damn, I never really looked at the Dodge till you put it right next to it. Well, they're Rams now. I mean, they're Rams, you know. But yeah. And if you have any questions, listen, my email is always open. Like you guys know how to get a hold of me. So if you have any questions, guys, like seriously, just shoot me a message. If I can help you, I am more than willing to help you, point you in the right direction. I can't, physically talk to everyone. But yeah, I will point you guys in the right direction because, again, I don't feel someone needs to make the same mistake that I made when I know I know what you should be doing or what is I don't want to say what you should be doing because everyone does things differently. I think Ken is the same way. He's watched a lot of the same people, he watches a lot of the same people that I do. And again, I just don't feel I need to watch people, I don't need to watch people try and figure something out when you're like, I'm the same way with skating. Like I see someone skating and many times I've tried helping someone. And sometimes you get like someone that's a little bit older and they'll look at you like, all right, old man, whatever. Like, you know what? The best coaches weren't the best players. But they can see things. And as you get older, you can see things. So just how I am. So if you have any questions, you can just message me and I will point you in the right direction. Then, hey, if you feel that the best thing to do is go in someone else's community and talk about it, cool. It won't last in mine. Maybe other ones, will help. I mean, maybe Geek Dead Life, maybe they don't give a shit or whatever. But, and I can tell you this. Toy Habits, every time I'm in Toy Habits, Michael puts me up and he's like, hey, check out Punks, especially if you like G.I. Joe stuff, but he talks about a lot of stuff. Because Michael and I have talked on a personal level numerous times. So if I drop in there, like he's going to mention, just like I've mentioned so many people, in the past. Fuck, I've been doing this almost lives for, over a year and a half. Damn. Anyway, enough with that. We went 3 hours. We haven't even got to the topic yet. So let's get to the topic because I'd rather not be here more than 3.5 hours. Good Lord. And Ed, you can't say that I didn't talk about the topic. I can't believe I even made it through one glass of pop. Well, Ken, I mean, if Toy Habits will... So here's a perfect example. If Toy Habits will promote this Canadian, then you guys should have no problem once you get to know him for him to promote you. Yes, they're. I didn't need one. I didn't. Fuck no. That is awful. That is the worst fucking pop ever. I'm sorry. Dr. Pepper, I tell my kids and they like it, especially my daughter. It is awful. Matter of fact, my daughter was up. She'd probably come out and be like, whatever, Dad. That's awesome. Yeah. See, yeah, if I wouldn't have had a topic, we would have been done about an hour and 45 minutes into it, and I wouldn't know what to talk about. And I do like this here. So Stanley Eberhardt says, it's a job career for Emily with her education, background, and experience. It did not start out as a fandom for her. We as fans would fumble it on her. I love the Dodge Viper. It is my favorite car. You don't want me designing it. Matthew and I talk about that shit all the time. Matthew and I talk about that shit all the time, man. Like, I love this. You don't want me designing G.I. Joe because I'm only going to make shit I want. Guess what? People want Cobra Law. I would never make Cobra Law. Actually, I can't say that's actually true because, as I said, like I don't really collect Funko Pops, but I'm doing a Funko Pop store because as I'm doing these toy stores, I can't just put into into place what I want. So, all right. Whew. Let's get to the topic, because I see Toy Binging right here says people 3D print items better than the actual IP holders. Sometimes, are there any equivalent companies to say an Empire Toy Works, but for G.I. Joe? Now, I don't know. But let's get into this. And the reason why I brought this up is this is something that my buddy Greg, who has 3D printed a lot of the stuff that you see, in the image that you saw, most of that stuff was mine. It's all off Thingiverse. The armory was from Greg, and I apologize. I apologize. I was supposed to get back with someone about buying one of them. Jay Astro, hit me up again. Are you still here, Jay Astro? If you're here, hit me up. I got it for you. $2 super chat. Cherry Dr. Pepper is tasty. Go buy yourself a can. No. No. I loathe Dr. Pepper. I loathe it. Oh, it is awful. It is awful. All right. Hey, look, Greg's here. No, I was looking for Jay Astro. But Jay Astro, you can hit Gregory up also. Anyway. Rachel says, if I'm in charge, you're getting Star Brigade and Lunatics. Okay, so remember when I said all those nice things about you? You can leave. I probably want Star Brigade more than... I still want Star Brigade probably more than Cobra though. Yeah, so he owns... Okay, so I'll clear this up really quick here. He owns the name Steel Brigade. He does not own the likeness for the Steel Brigade figure. So he bought that. That's why his Steel Brigade looks completely different than the G.I. Joe one. The Joe one, is they own the likeness to that. So all he was able to do was buy the name. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's his favorite figure of all time. That's why he bought it. But he can't create a figure that has the likeness. Which means if he wants the likeness of the figure that he likes so much, he has to buy the G.I. Joe version. You figure that one out. Anyway, so the whole 3D printing thing started. Greg and I have talked about it. And one of the things he worries about is that, you know, he's bought all these prints that he could possibly sell by printing the stuff. And, you know, he has the ferret. Well, he wonders, why would anyone buy a ferret off of me for $50 or whatever it's going to cost? And again, $50 for a 3D printed stuff that's nice is not a bad price. When you could buy a ferret for $55 from Hasbro that has less chance of breaking and has nothing to do with what Greg is printing. Okay, has nothing to do with what Greg is printing, but 3D prints are not as good as, you know, plastic mold injection, and also comes with a figure. Come on, guys. We hit the topic. Let's not talk Dr. Pepper. And Johnny, yeah, well, clearly great customizers don't have great taste. Oh, and Johnny, please turn your truck on right now so Tony doesn't have to run out there and jump you after you kill your battery watching the show. True story. Johnny killed his battery while watching the show, and Tony had to run out there and jump his car. Okay. So my question is, you know, Tony says he's at home, so we don't have to worry about that. So I wonder if people are still going to continue to buy and print their own stuff. Now, I know when, Greg had mentioned, yeah, if it's something like a whale that Hasbro's not going to do. And I mean, if they do, it's going to be a HasLab, and it's going to be $600 because the whale would be giant. Greg has one that's printed, and he's already mentioned how big it is. A moray would be something like that. But in all honesty, we know we're getting Vamp-style Jeeps, right? We're going to get the Stinger. We're going to get the Vamp 2. They're going to remake this. I mean, you know, if you feel you need to have it right now, pay a little bit of extra money. But I promise you, that thing sold like crazy. They're going to continue to make runs. They don't want to end up with a whole bunch. But yeah. But are you going to be willing to spend, you know, $75 to $100 on a 3D printed one? Now, I think a lot of people still will be, because they're going to look at it and be like, hey, I want the exact same thing that I had before. I want it to look exactly the same. And you're going to get that with designs. I believe like Mark to Toys, he does that stuff. The other guy, I guess, you know, Steve the Toys has changed his tune on that, where he's not going to fight with people that want to sell 3D printed models for his, you know, of the prints they buy from him. If true, good. But he still came off like an asshole to me, and that pissed me off. And, you know, I just can't support someone like that. So anyway. But when you see, well, actually, I moved. I guess I should have left it here. I got the picture on my Instagram, on the second Instagram, of the Skyhawk. Well, that is something prime for them to make. And again, I think it's still going to be big. It's going to be a little bit bigger than what people think. But why are people going to have a reason to buy a 3D printed one from someone? Now, I think walls, like I have here, you know, walls are always something nice, easy to make, don't take up a lot of filament. You don't need a great 3D printer. The barrels, stuff like this. I think this is the type of stuff that you're going to end up with more people. The punching bag that I made, again, this I got off Thingiverse. This is just 3D printed. I just put athletic tape around it to make it a punching bag, because, again, Big Bower doesn't have any type of punching bag, so I don't even know how he does like that. How he's going to train people, how he's going to fight. He should have had a punching bag of some sort. So I think dioramas are going to be things that people are going to do. Where I know Greg has said, why is someone going to buy a Checkpoint Alpha off of me when I have to sell it for $75 to $100? He does great quality. He probably undersells himself. As a matter of fact, I know he undersells himself. I've said that numerous times to him. When G.I. Joe's eventually going to make a Checkpoint Alpha, everybody wants the Checkpoint Alpha. And I don't know why. I mean, I do. I guess I do. And now that we have a Vamp, it makes sense. But yeah, it's going to be one of those things where are less and less people going to buy the 3D printed stuff. And I was just wondering what you guys actually think when it comes to that. Crimson Cobra Commander says, Punk, I get 3D prints in different colors or themes so I can still get the original. Okay, so you know what? That's a point that I've never really thought about, that people maybe want different color schemes. But what about at the, what about at the price though? Because a lot of people, they think, well, why am I going to spend $60 or $70 on a 3D printed ferret when Hasbro's giving me one with a figure for $55? And I'll say this over and over, and I feel like I have to tell Greg this so he realizes the worth of what he prints up. It's like, but it's your time too. You're paying for the filament. People aren't doing this stuff just because it makes them happy. They want to make some profit off it too. Shark probably said it best, like, hey, don't feel bad about mentioning your channel memberships. You spend a lot of time there. You shouldn't feel bad about, asking for a little for something for what you give everyone else. But it comes the same thing when it comes to 3D printing and stuff like that. I mentioned it Now, this isn't 3D printing, but this is like random diorama. He does stuff. People look at it. Now, he's carving stuff out, and he does this. And he has his stuff up on Etsy, and he's carving stuff out. And people are like, that's expensive. Well, it's all him. He's doing everything by hand. He's painting everything by hand. If you don't like it, stop saying that it's fucking expensive and just move on. So, like Shark here says, I'm not buying anything 3D printed that is potentially on the horizon with Hasbro. I'm happy with the 3D printed accessories, add-on kits, and dial pieces, oil drums, crates. Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people are. And again, $100, $150, you can buy a 3D printer that can do those types of stuff perfectly fine. Now, when you want to do stuff like what Gridiron is doing, what Arsenal, what Pew Pews is doing, you have to have a resin printer, a higher end one. You also have to design the stuff. I don't think you're just going to find that stuff over on Thingiverse. I know there's other ones, but Thingiverse is the one that I pretty much use. And so, yeah, Crimson Guard says he found a good seller on Etsy. But would you find yourself, as Hasbro starts to make stuff, are you willing to buy less and less? Because I'm assuming, it's still pretty pricey, right? I mean, people are always complaining about Gridiron, and again, they're top notch. They are at the top of their game, and you pay for the quality that you're going to get. But even the stuff that isn't the exact same quality, that stuff costs money for everyone. And we found that a lot of people, especially in this community, become very cheap. They become very cheap when it's time to put up the money. They want stuff, but they just want the option to buy it. They want everyone else to flip the bill. Everyone wanted a his, everyone. Well, they could have made the his tank and just put it on the shelves. Well, yeah, but this way they made sure they didn't lose any money, and then they were able to take that money and put it back into funding, right? So they could actually grow that brand again. Again, I can go in 100 directions here. So Crimson Cobra Commander says, yes, the Tiger Ram looks better on Etsy. But so then the other question comes, when it comes to 3D printed stuff, if you're not going to buy 3D printed VAMs, are you just going to buy accessories for it? Are you willing to say, hey, you know what? I don't want the machine gun. Oh, hey, Greg, by the way, there's your vamp. If you're wondering where your vamp is, it's right here. And here's your Cobra Trooper. I told you guys, Greg drops all the stuff off. So he drops all the stuff off for me to review. so Greg can look at his vamp in the background. Sorry, I just happened to notice that. So maybe you guys are willing, people in general, I don't say you guys, but people maybe in general, they're willing to buy different types of missiles, different types of accessories, like what Gridiron is doing. We saw right away someone designed the doors and the roof for the vamp. Now mind you, the vamp didn't have it. The Stinger did, and the Vamp Mark II did. So you're buying something for something. You're buying something that isn't even for that. See, Mark II Toys, I believe, he recreated the original guns. Now, I don't know why you want the original guns rather than this. Again, I don't understand what some people, they say they want vintage, but then I'm looking at it going, it's not really vintage. TC says 3D prints of parts of bigger vehicles might be worth making, like maybe you don't have room for a rattler, but some small pieces like a chunk of the wing or a cockpit for a wreckage for a diorama. See, and I think that's where I think a lot of it may start going, where you're looking at diorama pieces, walls, all that stuff that you're going to use in the background. I don't think when it comes to dioramas, if Hasbro makes them, let's say Valaverse makes them, or anyone else makes them, I don't think you're not going to get everything that you need. When you look at the turtle sewer layer that NECA is doing, it's awesome, but you're not going to have everything. Like this piece here, like this NECA street scene is awesome. If you don't have one, you need to get one. All right, they're awesome. But what doesn't it have? It didn't have lights, right? So some guy 3D printed, lights for it and made them fit right in there. You need stuff on the inside. You got to find a way to light it up on the inside. You need to light it up on the inside. You need stuff for the outside of it, right? All that type of stuff. And I think that's where we may start to go. I have an Ender 3. Greg knows. It was the first. I think it's the Ender 3 Pro. It's like $150. It's really cheap. It's not going to do great designs. Again, I print stuff like this, right? And it's perfectly fine. It can hold stuff if you want. I found this on Thingiverse. If it has straight lines or it's round, as long as it's not overcomplicated, it can handle stuff like that. And that's really all you need. And filament, again, when you figure out how to do everything, as long as it doesn't fail. When something fails, it's the absolute worst. Because if you're not home, you've just wasted a whole bunch of filament. Just kind of reading through some of these. People who 3D print hard to find missing parts and pieces are doing the Lord's work. So I last year I sold a Sky Striker without a canopy, and it had all 3D printed missiles. So all the missiles were 3D printed. The seats were 3D printed. I don't remember if anything else was 3D printed. Now, I obviously, when I sold it, I let them know. Like, it was said, hey, you know what? Sky Striker shell with 3D printed missiles. The other reason why that's a really good idea is because let's say you have a Sky Striker that you have on display, and maybe you're missing one of the missiles, or maybe you have all the missiles, but they're getting brittle. You can buy the 3D printed missiles. They're nice, vibrant black or whatever color you want them. Throw them up there. Take the other ones down, package them up or whatever. So if you ever decide to sell it, that way you don't really have to worry about losing a missile, something breaking, it getting discolored. So that is another great option right there. The ferret that I have, well, you guys will see it very shortly. Once the ferret comes in, I do the review. I 3D printed new missiles for it. So I think I was missing one. I think I might have been missing both. But I 3D printed missiles for it. I 3D printed the back cover for it. I think it's actually in black and that thing's blue, but it really doesn't matter because it's for my own personal thing. But those are other awesome things to look at. But I really didn't think about that. Cressio Crow says, to me, this whole 3D market is a beautiful way to participate in toy company games, okay, with their product, but seize revenue they don't claim with their own printers. Perfectly fair game, Hasbro. I'm with you. Like I have no problem with that at all. Tatsi says 3D printing only became controversial in the toy community when you 3D print vintage stuff and try to pass it off as authentic vintage. So I'm with you 100%. Like that, so here's the other thing that you have before this, and I've never done this. My buddy an old friend of mine, he was, before I really, I mean, I was always collecting G.I. Joe stuff, but I guess he was really big into it. And he was cleaning stuff up and selling it. He talked about doing repros and how he did it. And he had a machine. This was well before 3D printing. And you would take, let's say, Cobra Officer's AK-47, you would press it, right? And then you would use the mold and you would recreate it. Those are harder to figure out. 3D prints are pretty easy to figure out if it's a repro. But you are right. If someone, like if I sold a Sky Striker and I said it's complete and then they get it, they're looking at the pictures and I make the pictures good enough but bad enough that you can't tell that the missiles are printed, yeah, you're a slime ball and a piece of shit. So I understand why that's a problem, and that should be a problem, because if you're buying something complete, if I'm buying something complete, I'm not buying it and I'm like, oh, hey, look at this, I got a complete Firefly, but his phone is from the accessory pack. That's not complete. That is, hey, I have a Firefly with 3 of his accessories, and I have the walkie-talkie or phone, but it's from the accessory pack. So I fully understand when it's for your own home and for your own, if you're like, hey, I just need it for my display, then great. And I think with 3D printing, it's harder to know. I think it's easier to know if it's not an official thing, because 3D prints have, again, when you look at Gridiron, they're using very expensive 3D printers. When I do a 3D print, you can see the lines and everything that go through it. It does change everything. It really does make things look different, but it definitely does help. And so it looks like most of you guys are still on board with 3D printing. I have a feeling that a lot of these guys that have spent a lot of time creating vehicles, I think it's going to hurt them for a bit. It's people that bought the files so they could sell, but it does become, you're going to pay a good amount. If someone was selling a 3D printed HISS tank for $150 or $200, depending on how much time and work went into it, there was a guy on one of the G.I. Joe pages that said he 3D prints his tanks for $17. Have fun with your $300 one. And I called him and I said, bullshit. And he had the rubber treads and everything. And he's like, you need to find a better 3D printer then. I was like, first off, like I didn't buy these, but I have the exact same one. But the filament alone, your time, having to use different types of filament, it's bullshit. And I called them out on it, and some other people kind of did too. And I don't know what the hell. But you're not making these for $17. You're not printing them up yourself for $17, let alone selling them for anywhere around there, right? And I'm not saying it's much more. I'm not saying it's that much more expensive. But if you're using that special filament to have working treads, if you want it so the working treads actually work and the shafts for the rollers don't fucking snap, well, you're going to have to use good filament with high fill, right? You have to use good fill so they're strong enough that they don't snap off, right? So there's there's a lot of different issues, when it comes to that. But I think it's going to be around. I think a lot of people still like it. As the prices come down, like I said, you can buy one for $100, $150. You find them on sale all the time. And if you're like, hey, I need walls, I need crates, I need, oil barrels, different things like that, I can find all this stuff, I can print it up, and my printer will do a good enough job where it's in my display, it doesn't matter. When it comes to someone like Greg, when he talks about selling stuff, and he does sell stuff to locals, I don't know how much he sells, to, you know, to people where he has to ship it, because that's also another thing that's always risky is when you're selling something and you have to ship it, because 3D prints are, uh, they can be touchy. But yeah. All right, 3.5 hours. And I started late, so I didn't realize it's almost 12:40 here where I'm at. But yeah, trying to look here. What was here? Johnny is saying someone is full of shit, and I'm just wondering. Eric, Eric is saying he needs Glocks. And I believe Tony is saying Arsenal and Pew Pews has them. And I wonder who Johnny's saying he's full of shit. Johnny, who are you saying is full of shit? Because I'm interested, just because I can't read through all this stuff. But I also have to go because I have to work in the morning. Because believe it or not, YouTube really doesn't pay me nearly that much money. So I'm going to go. Before we leave, I do want to mention, please go over and subscribe to Punks on Film. Matthew and I are going to be there. I'm going to highlight myself. So we are going to be there, just talking basic TV shows and movies that we have been watching as of recently. Next week, the following after that, we're going to do the Star Wars. I want to stay on the Star Wars theme for that month, for May. But I need you guys all to go over there. I need to get it off this channel because every time it's on this channel, people start asking about toys. I know people will still ask about toys over there, but it'll at least kind of break it off. So please subscribe. You'll see the thumbnail go up, or the creation of it go up sometime within the next day or two when I actually have a little bit of time. Tomorrow, I want you guys to tune in to Action Figs. Him and Mr. Wonderful Travis, they're now doing a show. Once Travis gets a nice commercial for me, I will be showing it towards the end. As I mentioned, these guys are buddies of mine. Action Figs is one of the moderators, so I'm definitely going to support his channel, promote his channel while I'm at the gym working out a little bit that I do. He said $17, but you're absolutely correct. But yeah, I like Bloodsport. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys all for tuning in for 3.5 hours. Thank you for all the people for the battery super chats. If you missed the beginning of it, you're welcome, man. Always, man. Like, seriously, you're a good friend. Like, you're an actual friend, and this is the community that we've made. So, but anyway, thank you guys all for the battery super chats. I'll have to do that more often so I can get the super chats and I can just revel in all the money that I leech off you guys while YouTube is just paying me thousands upon thousands of dollars per hour. It's amazing. One day I should show you my lavish 1,200 square foot townhouse that I have. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. This Thursday, Punks on Film. You see where it's at. Go over, subscribe. Matthew and I are going to be there chatting about movies, TV shows. Tune in, talk about whatever you want that has to do with stuff like that. Tomorrow, though, I want you to tune in to Ed and Travis. It's on Action Figs channel. You can find him by clicking on his little thing, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys all this Thursday. And if not, I'll see you all next Monday. And yes, I am here every single Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just rambling on. Normally, my batteries don't die. We'll try and make sure we don't do that again next time. All right, take care.
Only one way.